Morning, morning, morning. I'm the early bird catches the most worm. Yeah, man. Shear up, link up. Saturday morning, yeah, go hot, fiery, fiery, fiery. Yes, my peeps. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. Welcome to Portland Spice TV. Like up the channel, share up the channel. Now, I'm kicking off early this morning because it's a whole heap of things, whole heap of things. And also today, they will be laying to rest the body of the late Rupert Chili Miller. And I will definitely be going to pay my respects to a man who may rate whole ratings for him, Sir Chills. So we'll pass through. So we're kicking off early. One other thing I want to start with this morning, the main reason why I started getting it up before 9 o'clock, is that I tell you, no, be careful of this boy here when named Vegas. Good DJ, fully baboon when it comes to politics. He don't have no sense when it comes to politics. But as an artist, somebody will me always like listen to me, love him songs, them, whole heap of good song him have. But when it comes to politics, it's pure garbage. And he was on a platform with an ex idiot. I didn't know that the clown name. But it's a GLP supporter. And they were lambasting the Integrity Commission and talking about the Integrity Commission lift some veil of privacy by getting information from the bank. And one clown here called me with it, called me on this platform about the IC breach. Well, the ruling is out. The written ruling from the court is out. And noted attorney at law and talk show host, Emily Shields, got into it Thursday morning. Well, the truth is I don't even really listen to Emily no more now. Because Emily coming like bamboo. And I don't understand what I mean when I say bamboo. Blow hot and cold. This minute she hot, the next minute she cold. So I don't really focus on that, but it's like the Almighty sent me to over there Thursday morning. And I listened to her. So call that clown there when in Vegas. Because and all the labor rights them were over there. Lambast the Integrity Commission that the Integrity Commission did something wrong. The Integrity Commission a creature of the parliament, operates within the law. And I keep pointing out to you all that as some senior judges sit as commissioners, some of the commissioners are senior judge of high repute, high reputation. So be careful on not tear down institution for one man. And no less a person than Marlon Morgan love to say we are a country of laws. Countries run by laws and not by men. And if a man can't operate within the confines of the law, then he need to take for himself. You want to mash up the laws of the country to suit one man. So let's go listen to Emily Shields as it relates to the Integrity Commission and getting information from the banks or from any third-party institution. Let's go. Nuts.
All right, so I woke up this morning to a front page story in the Gleaner. No IC privacy breach. Financial institutions obliged to furnish information on MPs and other public servants. This report obviously caught my attention for a number of reasons. The first of which is, as you are aware, there is a joint select committee of Parliament now examining the provisions of the Integrity Commission Act, an act which came into operation in about 2018. And when it met last on the 25th of June, before the Joint Select Committee were various recommendations from a number of different entities, including the Permanent Secretary's Board. And appearing before the Joint Select Committee at the time were representatives of the Solicitor General's Office and the members of that Joint Select Committee. This particular matter concerning the potential breach of privacy rights, it's a recommendation made by the Permanent Secretary's Board for consent of an individual to be given before the Integrity Commission can seek to get information from an outside body such as a financial institution and so forth. And fascinatingly, at some point in time, I have to find that excerpt to play for you because I remember when the Observer put an article in the paper concerning what transpired before the commission, the way they interpreted what transpired and the way I understood what transpired from watching it. They were not on all fours. But based on a question from Dr. Maurice Guy concerning banks being compelled by the court to turn over information on public officials and parliamentarians to the Integrity Commission, the issue of a request was made actually by the members of the Joint Select Committee for the Solicitor General's Department and the Solicitor General in particular to perhaps get a copy of the court order so that the Joint Select Committee could see whether it has general application court. And I recall the Solicitor General saying, well, you know, it's going to be difficult because you have to do some research. You don't really know the parties and so forth. Imagine my shock when I got hold of the decision earlier this morning, and just having a look at the parties in the matter, I've now realized that it is not only the financial institution that had an issue with the request for information by the Integrity Commission, and the Integrity Commission who were actually present in the matter, but the Director of State Proceedings actually appeared for the Attorney General of Jamaica. In other words, there was a representative of the AG's department that made submissions to the court in that specific case that the Joint Select Committee was seeking an order for. I'm not going to hold that against the Solicitor General, because I know that sometimes with the volume of things that, you know, go on and which people have to sort of pay attention to, one might forget. When I look at this decision this morning,
So you're hearing me. Here is something not right with this computer. Oh.
but the submissions in this case, they are completely on the opposite side.
So my listeners and viewers, let's go to part 2.
Yes, so the Joint Select Committee, a number of the members, led by Delroy Chuck, they appear to be of the view that a case coming from the Turks and Caicos, where the Integrity Commission in the Turks and Caicos and this entity, a liquidator, Kiki Varakis, as official liquidator, TCI Bank Limited in liquidation. They were of the view that this case is somehow persuasive in that the consent of an individual is to be sought before the Integrity Commission can embark on seeking the information from another
No, we're
body.
not taking the calls.
That was the
Another 10
original
minutes.
position by Mr. Chuck, and which was that position was supported by other members of the Integrity Commission. I then understood from the Solicitor General's Department that they were saying, really, when you look at the Section 7 in our law, it appears as if the Integrity Commission could seek information from a third party without the consent of the individual on whom the information is being sought. And in the first instance under Section 7.2, that third party shall cooperate with the Integrity Commission and in essence turn the information over. But should the entity not cooperate and turn the information over, then under Section 7.3 of the Integrity Commission Act, the Integrity Commission can then apply to the court without notice to the institution from which it sought the information. And it appears as if the court shall compel the production of the information. Right? And the view, I'm not even sure in the end how the matter ended before the Joint Select Committee, whether they are seeking to amend it to ask for consent or not. But the important thing at the moment is that we have a decision of the court that was made on the 17th of January 2024. The written decision was only delivered perhaps a day or two ago, and based on the written decision, the court was asked to interpret the meaning of the words shall cooperate, and the meaning of shall cooperate, it has been read to be that it's an act of compulsion of third parties to hand over information on any entity, on any individual that any director of the Integrity Commission seeks. It could be the Director of Information and Complaint, it doesn't matter. It could be the Director of Investigation, it doesn't matter. It could be the broader Integrity Commission itself, it doesn't matter. Whatever is sought under Section 7.2, the court is actually saying the cooperation is an act of compulsion. And it came about in the context where, this is also interesting because I've seen so many instances, I believe, where, let me hold off on that for the moment. I need to just double check something. This is the context. By a letter dated the 28th of June 2021, the Director of Information requested the court cooperation of First Global Bank and Barita Investments Limited to provide information in relation to accounts which they've been holding for parliamentarians and public officials who'd filed statutory declarations. The financial institutions were asked to provide in respect of each person named in an attached list balances on bank accounts and other financial investments, the dates on which the account or accounts were open and their status. And this information was required as part of the process of verification of information provided in the statutory declarations. In making the request, the Director of Information relied on Section 7 and 32 of the Act. This is the Director of Information and Complaints, the person that has the responsibility in law to verify the statutory declarations. This is not the Director of Investigation, which goes about investigating all sorts of things, including illicit enrichment and all those things, right? And the court says that First Global declined to comply, citing its duty of secrecy under the Banking Services Act, and requested that the commissioner seek an order from the court for them to cooperate. Barita, in declining to comply, relied on their obligations to protect their clients' personal data, together with their view that cooperating, quote, would require too wide an interpretation to support a clear legal obligation on Barita to provide the commission with the client's information. Additionally, Barita questioned whether the role, functions, and power of the Director of Information included the authority to request the information. In view of this, Barita also requested that the Commission obtains a court order to permit their cooperation. So, the proceedings were then started by the Commission for declarations on the interpretation of that Section 7, and the Section 7 is the one that stipulates the need for cooperation between the Integrity Commission and persons or other bodies. And they sought an interpretation as well, and orders directing Barita and First Global to comply with the requests. By order of the court, Barita, First Global, and the Attorney General were served with the application and invited to make submissions. In other words, even though the law allows the Integrity Commission to go to the court for orders without notice, the court in this case, as happens in many, near all instances where you go to the court without notice to the other party, the court is now based on a decision in the coming all the way from the Privy Council. It is NZB and Olint case, and that's specifically in relation to ex parte application. The court says sometimes even a phone call is sufficient. So they normally order the party who comes without notice to go and serve the other side. In this case, not only did the court order for Barita and First Global to be served, but they also asked for the Attorney General's Department to be served and for those served to make submissions. So by the time it got around to the nuts and bolts, though, First Global decided they won't challenge that anymore. So they complied with the request of the commission, and so the matter went forth with the Integrity Commission against Barita, and then the Attorney General's office continued. And the Attorney General's office filed submissions which generally supported the commission's application.
Thank you very much. Noted attorney at law, talk show host, Emily Shields. So, what do they have to say now? The court ruled the Integrity Commission has the legal authority to dig in your bank account. And as she said, the law said, the court shall, any third party shall cooperate with the Integrity Commission. And if you don't want to cooperate, the Integrity Commission can go to court, and the court shall grant the order for you to cooperate. So all of them were out there said the Integrity Commission breach veil of privacy or secrecy, whatever veil you want to call it. Because, you know, it is rather strange that people are willing to tear down the institution for one man. For one man. Yes, Balfour, it's mandatory And this law was put in place by the administration of the one man who want to tear it down for. You know, some people want the truth, but when the truth don't suit them, nobody want it. You have to take the truth all the time, every time. Good morning, everybody. Welcome again. Share up the channel, please. Like up the live if you have not yet subscribed. We are past 5,000 subscribers and we're growing this platform. So all the Portland Spice ambassadors, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Good morning, Sir Colin. Quickly, I don't want to stay too long because I know it's early now.
Yeah.
Right? But there's something that I want to ask you now. From week that Burn Me Feel show start from Saturday, I got to tell you the truth.
Yes.
Now wait for it, that's when I make the first call. Well, I want to ask a question because you always say he's a broadcaster, right?
Yes, not a vlogger
So
or a blogger.
Is there something in the media space that, because I noticed recently when Mark Golden got an overseas trip and said the media is biased towards certain things, and when time even with Warmington, as much as he's not my best friend, come out and speak certain narrative against the media, the Press Association of Jamaica always come out. It's like say there's no freedom of speech where persons can criticize the media, right? But the reverse, I was listening to something, and at station I don't listen, but something passed my eye, where a certain journalist was spewing. So first, I was listening to something, and at station I don't listen, but something passed my eye, where a certain journalist was spewing some rhetoric, and the way it's like there was some venomous action in his face and speech about the opposition leader. I'm asking, isn't the Press Association, is there a moral ethics or some form of
some of these things will have to be reported. If you don't report them, because remember now, people from the Press Association are normally sit down and listen to every station. So most of the times when they come out and act or speak out against something, it comes from a report. Somebody report to them and say, we hear this and we see that.
But and this is my problem. Hello?
Yeah, man.
And this is my problem, and this is one of the things that I support the People's National Party with no stone unturned. But
right.
This is the problem that I'm gonna have with you guys, right? When I listen to that conversation with Mr. Cliff Hughes, if there is a member of the opposition party who goes on that platform to take an interview from them, I would be very disheartening. I would be very disappointed because let me tell you something. Nationwide does not even in the top 5 of listenership in Jamaica.
No,
I don't know if they are even in the top 10, right? Whatever message that the PNP wants to spread to the masses, it will not reach no one there because they have their surrogates and persons who listen to us nationwide don't have their mindset on what they are going. The message that the PNP need to be resonating with is outside of nationwide. Bloggers and others, media entity. Because if you're going to try to get the undecided, nationwide is not the place to go. And so when I hear someone talking against, if I was a part of the PNP as a part of the leadership, there is no way I can hear somebody talk some things about my leader is clumsy, inarticulate, this. It is disgusting. And when a Jamaican hear these things coming from someone as a journalist, I want to tell journalists, what they don't realize now, people is getting turned off by these kind of narratives.
But also you have to remember freedom of speech. So if Cliff Hughes thinks that way, those are his thoughts. When we think that Andrew Holness is corrupt and Andrew Holness need to step aside, there are people who are equally disgusting with us. So you have to also remember that, yeah? So there's freedom of speech and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And I guess what he's doing is giving his opinion. We think,
so my question
over this side, we think Andrew Holness is a very deceptive man. And him know to put on the face and he's trained in deception. We think that. And we don't want nobody to take away our opinion of that. So if Cliff use our opinion, that a theme opinion.
So my question to you, then see when time Golden and a lot of people come out to the media is biased, is that opinion also?
Yeah, man. And they are entitled to their opinion.
And the Press Association of Jamaica come out and ask people to reach out. But also, even with this baby scandal here, I want to know if the person is going to, if the masses of Jamaican ladies, mostly who have lost their child, is going to just let it slide under the carpet. Is that you have loose or moral source?
We have a problem with Mark Golden. You want to hear what problem we have with Mark Golden?
Yeah.
He can't hear dead baby cry. He need to hear the dead babies cry. Andrew Golden say he hear the dead baby cry. What happened to these? He don't hear them one here. Uncle, we get it now. I got it. No, only when Andrew Wallace is in opposition, he can't hear the dead baby. You have to turn off the thing in the background, though. Your thing where you listen to in the background and come back in the studio. Turn down your instrument in the background for me.
Okay.
Yes.
My biggest problem is the rhetoric from the businesses, the lady named businesses. She make it look like there's a problem with premature baby, that's why the mothers are dead. I'm not seeing that there may be something. And the minister start blaming people not eating well, not doing the neonatal and all these things.
But that's the modus operandi of this administration. They take responsibility for nothing. Absolutely nothing. When Tufton was asked why never announce it earlier, he said no one the people in panic. But we talk again because the noise in your background kind of disturbing. Here, respect. Some people, this is a government that doesn't take responsibility for anything. I would even tell you what I'm going for the show this morning. Hold on, I don't even tell you no. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Good morning.
Hold the line for me. Just hold the line for me a little bit. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Colin. Morning.
Hold on there, Marshall. Hold on there. Because I don't tell the people them yet what go on. We're going to have MP Denise Daily on the show this morning. We're going to have Ralston Hyman on the show this morning. And we're going to have Conrad O'Brien on the show this morning. So, share up the live. Before I come to your marsh, there is some housekeeping that I must do. Because Andrew Holness came to Portland on Thursday. Said they're going to break ground for the Port Antonio bypass. And I'm saying to the people of Portland, the PNP song will say anything they take away, we are going to bring it back and restore is right. Because that is the road that they took away from us. That bypass that they're talking about, it is not new. It was in the contract that was signed in 2015 for the new road from Harborview to Port Antonio. And I beckon anybody to challenge me on that. Even Andrew admitted. So he came here, and hold on, I want to play something, Marsh, because they had the groundbreaking, and it was a GLP meeting. It was so bad, a GLP meeting, that the Prime Minister had to remind them that is a civic function. Listen to this.
Thank you very much, Dane, for your mastery of the ceremonies. We are gathered here to celebrate, to mark a major achievement. This is a civic function. This is a function for the entire Jamaica, and particularly for the people of Portland.
So the Prime Minister saw it, and I guess in I'm heading feel a little way that the crowd was all green. We from the PNP executive in East Portland did not get an invitation for a road that was scoped by the Portia Simpson Miller-led administration and a contract signed for it and then take it away. They never see fit to invite us. Marsh, morning.
Morning again. Morning. You know, a long time ago, you know,
In
and
Bethlehem?
his mother sent him to Sunday school, and he believed in the 10 Commandments. And in the 10 Commandments, it said, "Thou shalt not steal." And you understand, believe in that. But in thank God, his name is not thou, because thou shalt not steal. But in the oldest.
So if you're not named Doe, you can't steal. You can't steal.
You can't steal.
Rubbish.
When Denise come this morning,
Yes.
tell him Alton Marsh, so will he good morning.
Definitely.
Me want to fire cluster manager.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Bless
But
up.
no, our Prime Minister brilliant thing hallucinating, you know.
Yeah.
Because he used to hear dead baby cry.
Me, I wonder how him not hear them now. But
He can't hear them now.
money
I
can't
think
come
I
for
know
years.
why he can't hear now. Too much of them dead now.
Tala.
So he can't hear. He can't hear. What a man. And what a man like Tough Time. No, I mean, Buddy Man TQ said, team uncle out there, man. But they out there now work. Me want to find Tough Time out there, man.
Why?
Because only Tough Time is the only person in the world can do so much and still remain a minister of government.
Yeah, man.
And the Prime Minister can't touch him.
Why he might get away with everything? Because this is the second set of dead babies, right? And him come with the same argument. I think Emily Shields asked him yesterday why he never announced it. He said no one the people in panic. Wasn't that the same thing in Telway when the first set of babies died?
Well, let me answer that for you now. Let me answer that for you. Please, let me answer that for you. As in the talk, Archer funeral home wouldn't get more dead baby because enough people wouldn't go. Remember, say Archer was a counselor and then collect all the dead them, you know.
Wow.
So you can't understand clearly. What the hell is happening? What the hell is happening in Jamaica? Now you talk about Cliff Hughes. When you say freedom of speech, you are right. But when you say opinion, you are wrong. Cliff Hughes is not giving his opinion. Cliff Hughes is giving his defense for the government. It's not his opinion, because his opinion in cars of dishonest. But remember, a defense lawyer and a business whether you're right or wrong,
listen to me, Marsh.
His duty is to defend you.
Listen to me. You are saying that in chaos or dishonest. The Bible says, I know where you eat, defile your body, you know, will come out of your mouth. What comes out.
You're not Sunday school too.
So it's when you speak will allow you to determine who he is.
Well, you have a right. You have a right. But there's another Bible word that you see.
That's?
There's another Bible word for him. He's a reprobate.
I don't know what that means.
God Almighty.
I don't know what that means.
It's like when God turn the backfire and leave you alone and just blowing in the air like nothing and nobody in city.
But Tufton is running eruption over the people of Jamaica.
No.
Eruption, remember Market Me? What is happening with Market Me? How that stay? We don't hear nothing more about that yet. What is happening with Cornwall Regional Hospital? Eh? $23.5 million projected to be spent on the Cornwall Regional Hospital. And,
One journalist.
And you know, I want to say something to labor rights. This is not your Eddie Seaga party. This is not it. These are a set of bandits. And nobody will answer me because I want to ask Darrell Vaz, why use bus for our school children? In trying to tell people that we mustn't criticize the use bus. But he can't talk to me because I'm me telling him to carry bus for the picnic them. I'm me telling him, say the picnic them want to use bus. And he decide to do it. My question is why use buses? I believe, Marshy, there is some level of technology. I need to talk to you. There is some level of technology going on with these used buses because it was the same plan with the used cars for the police. You remember that one?
Yes.
Oh. So come forward, Darrell. Come forward and come tell Shaka Fame why you carry old bus. For my opinion, me I talk about it a lot. You see, they are trying to get people to be quiet and to be afraid. Yeah?
Your man will know about music. Your man will know about music. Your man will know about music.
Yeah.
Why they have the copyright?
Because when I do my song, I am supposed to get the royalties from it and get all the rights to it. So if you do over my song, if you do over my song, you have to pay me for it. That's how copyright going on.
Yes.
I can't stop you from doing over my song, you know.
Yes.
But you must pay.
So more like nickel. So even the idea of the school bus thing, so the word could have teach up to the very idea.
You see them the idea there? Them the idea them, you know, hold on upon them, you don't want no rights to them, and the people must benefit from them.
Yes, but
so,
not take the credit to when I'm due to you.
You understand? But Marsh, me have a next call I will with the day before you. So look more.
All right, best of yourself here, sir.
One love. Oh, the man gone. Oh, sorry about that. Caller, please have my apologies.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Mr. Bell.
Yes, sir.
Do you realize the mainstream media survived through sponsorship, through a commercial?
Yeah, man.
All right. And look at the 10 big companies that are mostly commercial plan. Look at the chairman mostly support which party.
May I listen to you now?
So the mainstream media, they are thinking about their pocket, right?
Yeah.
When PJ, in the 90s where PJ gave Mr. Stewart Central, Radio Central, was a franchise of JBC, you know that?
Yeah.
KLS. Right? Could you also get a franchise to operate, right? Could you switch, right? And become a full-fledged JLP mouthpiece. There's no KLS anymore to carry the message of the PMP. My appeal to Mark Golden and businessman supporter of PMP is to get together, apply for a radio station license, like what KLS does do. Right? And have a PMP mouthpiece.
Okay.
Because right around the world, that's what most political parties are survived by now. They got a designated mainstream media network,
Mhm.
right? So as long as we, the PNP don't have a mainstream media network that carry their message, it's going to be the same. Cause all these main top chairman of these government, they see where they work.
You know, so,
Most
you know, so Bobby Man to have a radio station for himself. Good morning,
I
comrade.
don't believe that. But you know what I know?
Ready
If
for
you
me?
look at these shareholders in nationwide, all
Yes,
of
ma'am.
them, some of them are MPs, right?
Are you want me to give you 10 minutes?
So, right?
All right, good. Yeah,
Right?
man, may I listen to you now?
So we can talk, but we need to put things in place to carry out the PMP message.
Well, the PNP
Right.
have to work on that.
Right.
All right.
So my appeal is that I go next thing, one more question.
Yeah.
Yesterday I take something and make it a program say, why only calling for the government to come out and say something where they might come and blame the mothers, tell lie on the mothers. 6 hours after, there comes a top time. These people that went tell the Jamaican people the truth.
Well-
They want to lie and smile and put it right, and the supporter who don't think for themselves, right? Don't read for themselves. Don't understand.
Well,
right?
well, God is ensuring that the people
And I believe
hear, because if God has show you the things that man you know are look, you know, then you are gonna suffer.
I'm appealing to the mothers who lost their children in that manner to find their PMP candidate and talk to them, right?
Yes, sir.
And those candidates come out and they will perform and they talk about it.
All right,
That's
Colin.
right.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Sure, man.
Yo,
Wagwan.
Shaka,
Yes.
the call on it. You see the call I just called? Shaka,
May I listen to your shower, man?
he must say Cliff was a PMP, a GLP more than once. But Mark holding up two PMP stations, you know.
Which two PLP station have a mark one?
Anje and Shaka station. A PMP come up on road, Liberal on them two stations there now.
Yeah.
Anje, as a Liberal call Anje, hang up. You will listen, but Anje hang up and him burn Liberal the most. So then two would have the mark holding station.
They're gonna listen to you every time you call.
Yeah, but what person I'm calling you miss and you egg me up on a thing that they call and say, no man, no show up man, you love me, don't you? You remember?
No, when I tell you that talk some foolishness, I did run you, but then I say, call me anytime you want, show man, call me. Yeah, man.
So I saw the thing, brother, everybody are there wants talker.
Yeah, man, but the man right, the man said the PNP must have a radio station for themselves, just like how GLP have a radio station for themselves.
You are the blogger. You say you are the blogger, you know, so we don't call your station.
All right, sir. What if, and you say Andre Stevenson have a PNP too?
Yes, man, that's the one on me right now. How are you, man?
No, we don't burn out labor right in a shower, man. We speak the truth. Because
you can't put yourself with Andre. You're different.
wait, sir, me speak the truth.
You understand?
All right, sir. All right.
Listen, man, what be a thing? But you know what I come about Cliff Hughes and on labor right now. Cliff Hughes a PNP.
Cliff Hughes are not PNP, man. Don't do that. Cliff Hughes are did PNP, but from PJ sue him and win him. He beat against PNP like a girl.
All right.
Little more. So we're gonna be talking to MP Denise Daily in a little while. And then at about 10, we're going to bring on Ralston Iman, and then we'll bring on Obi after that. Good morning, welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Good morning, Colin. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I have an assignment for you. And the assignment I'd like to give you is I'd like you to find out the insurance that they have on those used bus for the kids. I think that's very important. I mean, if you have kids traveling and use bus, which I don't think it should be for kids, for children, you should find out the insurance on the bus for the kids.
Them a have insurance, man. Remember, you know, we drive a whole heap of used vehicle in Jamaica, but my question is, why is it that the government is buying used buses for our children? They are buying new buses, but you know, I am going to say why the government are buying used buses with them. They don't have no money to buy the new one. Little more.
No, Colin. The reason why you put no value on your children, no value on your children. That's the number one. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you will put your kids in a whole vehicle traveling.
Then a used vehicle me driving, brother. I never buy a new vehicle for myself yet.
Colin, listen now, Colin. Buses in America, right, travel through the winter.
Yeah.
And the salt on the road, those damages on the bus.
Yeah, but if you get them from Florida, then they would be susceptible to that salt.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, you don't know where they're coming from. Right?
Well, we don't. That's true. We don't know.
You know, and technically, the commissioner use taxpayers' money and buy a used bus for children.
Yeah, that's why I'm still a question. Why is it that the government went ahead and buy used bus after they had a failed used car deal already? What is going on? And nobody wants to come and answer. All them go and come out and tell us, you know, to criticize. Rubbish.
Well, the way I put it now, he has no put on value your kids, your children on value, and your children's safety. That's number one. You know what I mean? He put no value on them, but simple.
All right, now take our next call here. Yeah? Respect.
Okay, man, cheers.
Morning, welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yes, Mr. Bell, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yes, you know, from the other day I've been trying to get you, but I'm lucky enough now to get you. Okay, so this song that the PNP wrote the other day about the Blood and Fire song.
Yeah, we're marching on to progress. Can we care not what the labor rights say or what they say we are? We need to fight the labor rights and to set Jamaica free. We are free. Blood and Fire comrade. That is the original song we are quoting now, not the one we just recorded. Because this song is over 40 years old.
All right, Mr. Bell. I'm here the thing now.
Yes.
I don't hear anybody mentioning about back in the days when Mr. Siaga said that. In his exact words, he said, and if you think it's joke I'm making, you can go and research. You can go on YouTube and type in Blood and Fire, Jamaica 40. It's a documentary. And it will tell you, and in Mr. Siaga's exact words, he said, if they think they're bad, let them come. I can bring out the gangs of West Kingston, and it will be blood for blood and fire for fire. And that was a violent connotation, and I don't hear anybody mentioning that.
I remember that thing. I remember it, you know. I remember that.
Look, go on YouTube, type in Jamaica 40. It's a documentary highlighting the political development coming up over the years. And Mr. Siaga himself apologized. He said that he had made some intemperate remarks and that he was sorry.
Yes.
He apologized for that Blood and Fire. He said it would be blood for blood and fire for fire.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I don't hear anybody mentioning that. All I hear them talking about is Mark Golden's song and trying to put a spin on it and trying to come up with a negative connotation.
Well, there's not negative
we
about
are blood
that song.
and fire comrades.
Yes, sir.
And we're marching on to progress.
I
don't see anything wrong with it.
The song is over 40 years old. So them just put them just add some new lyrics to it and say we have a kick down corruption door. And anything them broke down, we have a big back. Anything them take away, we have a bring it back and restore. That the people of Jamaica can't take no more. Bless up, my brother.
Yes, sir.
One love.
So when them come with them arguments, just find them up, what Mr. Siaga said back in the days.
Yes.
So if they think they are bad, let them come. I can bring out the gangs of West Kingston
And it will be blood for blood and fire for fire.
Tala. Respect.
All right.
It's a whole heap of things, but the calls are coming in fast and furious. We are going to be talking, we are going to be calling MP Denise Daily in a short while. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yeah, blessing, Mr. Bell.
Yes, man.
Yeah, wanted to say something, but I have a question that I wanted to put straight to Miss Denise Daily. Because she's my MP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you send it in our WhatsApp, I'll be able to. If you send it in our WhatsApp or in the chat room, then I'll be able to ask her when she come on.
I did put it in the group, but I wanted basically to say it and hear if anything.
Oh. Well, when she come on, I will maybe take a few calls on the other line.
Now, when you write it down, when you write it down, I'll let you know.
What is the question?
My question is, what is our plan for Windsor Heights, Central Village, especially the area called Zambia?
Oh, I see that a while ago. So Windsor Heights.
Windsor Heights, that's Central Village. And there's a section of the community called in Zambia. Basically, yeah, we need a community development. Just the other day, we had to get some stuff from Supreme Ventures to fix some part of the road because, to tell the truth, she needs to step up her game. And I tell you before, she needs to step up her team. And that community, is prone to violence as well. So we need some stuff in that road in that community. So let her know.
Yes.
That's going to be a big community.
Windsor Heights and Zambia.
Yeah, it's a big community. I can tell it's about 3,000 people live up with 3,000 people live up here, voters.
All right, my brother. All right, I'm going to get to her now, yeah?
All right.
Respect. So, let us try and get Denise Daily on the line now. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yes, good morning, Colin. I want to ask a question. Yeah, I don't know if you can answer me, but no.
All right.
Yeah, I want to know, Colin, I see the government giving away $1 billion, right?
Yes.
Colin, we don't have any machines in the hospital. So the Minister of Finance, all these giveaway, that's not benefiting the people. Can't set the owners do something that's benefiting the people.
It's vote buying, but
the hospital.
But you're me say I'm going to ask you to call back because I'm going to do this interview here with MP Denise Daily for about 15 minutes and then you call me back, all right?
Yeah, but just ask them that question because it hurt me,
A vote buying, man. Not more than vote buying. Right in the election, you
vote buying, you know what vote buying, but me I say, if you really want to buy vote, Shaka, if you put machines in the hospital, it benefit everybody. That's a big vote buying legally.
Well, them no see it so. But I could talk a little from this. All right, cool. You see, this $20,000, it is so vulgar right in the midst of an election. It is vulgar and disrespectful to the people of Jamaica. But we're going to deal with it. We have MP Denise Daily on the line. Good morning, Comrade Daily.
Good morning, Sir Colin. You're doing a fantastic job.
Oh, thank you very much.
Fantastic job. When you reach out, when you can reach out to a wide cross-section, and what is good about your program is that you are not trying to impress anybody, you are trying to empower and to educate.
Very well. Thank you very much. I'm humbled. You were in the parliament on Tuesday and you deliver your presentation in the sectorial debate. And I realize you wake up the Minister of Gender Affairs, Entertainment, Sports, and Minister of Holy Pasok with 2 permanent secretaries. Tell us a little bit about your presentation.
Well, first of all, that presentation was really geared towards When I think about championing the change,
Yes.
that was really, my presentation. But I spoke on gender, persons with disabilities, and culture and the creative industry.
Thank you.
And inclusion. So one area, part of this area was really for Deborah Eclins, which was culture and the creative industry.
Yes.
But because she's not in parliament, I spoke on it as well.
And you did an excellent job. I must congratulate you on it. Because I was very disappointed when I listened to the minister, because her presentation was really empty. And at least you came and saved the day, that the creatives heard that there is an administration coming that will be looking at their sector in a serious way to really give them the opportunities that they need.
Thank you.
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to extend a very good morning to your wider listeners. I know it is local and international.
Oh, yes.
Because somebody called me yesterday to ask me if I was going to be on the program, and I said, but Colin is really reaching out to a wide cross section. And that, to me, Colin, is worth more than millions. Trust me.
Well, we're doing all we can. On a Wednesday and Tuesday, we have a very large audience. We are on about 11 radio stations in the United States. On a Saturday morning, we have a solid base of about 5,000 people that really listen to this show. Now, a caller just called a while ago, and
Yes.
he said that he's from your constituency. He's abroad.
Yes.
And he wants to know your plans for Windsor Heights and Zambia.
As I'm sure the caller knows very well, that is an informal settlement. Even though the houses that are there, some of them is bigger than Beverly Hills.
That's about 3,000 people live in Zambia.
We have about 7,000 persons living in, not just Zambia, Windsor Heights in general.
Yes.
Zambia is a little community because they have their different names, like we have street names.
Yes.
So you have about 7 to 9 communities that represent Windsor Heights. It can be more, but the most prominent ones are about 7 to 9. With Zambia is right now we have a little difficulty. The difficulty that we are facing is that because it is an informal settlement, the government has not taken over road, water, light, and the infrastructure.
Oh.
The last our administration, when I first went there, was able to get Dr. Morris Guy, the then Minister of Land and Housing, to I just want to take off a call here, to assist with persons to get their titles. However, the titles most of the titles were prepared.
Yes.
And we are still having difficulty for persons to come and to take off the offer. We also ask for them to even start paying so that you will be able to be at either pathway on your journey to own the property.
Comrade Daily, you have me on a speakerphone?
Yes, let me see.
Take it off the speaker, please. Yeah, my listeners, them scream.
You can hear me better now?
Yeah, man, they are picking it up that you must be on speaker while they're not hearing you crisp and clean. Continue.
Right. Right. So in Zambia and those areas, there are road infrastructure. The agreement was for the money to be collected for the land, and that money would use to develop the infrastructure. So we are still having a challenge with it. And we are now still faced with a problem because we have a number of communities not crossing each other. So I have to be dealing with that to get to unite the community in order that we can work together. However, we started at the community center that we have there. We did the art training program. We were able to train persons from the age of 21 to 75. And they matriculated to get a first in art certificate.
Art
in
certification.
masonry, carpentry, level 1. And we have in store right here now about 36 computers that we want to start up now to do training in that community center. We have also a studio for persons who have the talent to do their recording.
A recording studio.
Right. I have just fixed, we have an excellent health center, recently upgraded, and I intend to put in some more amenities so that it can be a conference center. I have just finished about 7 roads in there, but as I said before, the money from the land, the agreement was that it would help for infrastructure. We have a solar pump that is pumping water, but it is not adequate to serve the entire community of Windsor. But we have a plan in my next administration. I will be looking at putting at least 3 more community centers so that even though we are not encouraging people not to come together, but for those who can cross borders, they will be able to stay in their own communities and to be able to get the necessary facilities needed to upgrade themselves. But I must tell you though, Colin, I have never seen such a diverse community. The amount of professionals that comes out of that community, in terms of children going to university, about 20% of the students up here are in tertiary. About 40% to 50% is in high school. And in terms of government work and good offices, we have over 20-30% of persons coming out of Windsor Heights that is doing well for Jamaica and making an impact on the world.
So when the PNP form the next government, will you be fixing their roads, ensuring that they get all the amenities that they need?
Well, first and foremost, I must tell you, you know what road and money is like. And the fact is, as I said before, it's an informal settlement. We have to encourage the citizens. Don't care how small the money is. Go and pay, because that is the money that they have said will fix the roads, put in better water supply, and proper lighting, and so forth.
Also, it's a partnership. They have a role to play.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
However, I have 3 more roads from the Sparks program, and those are major roads. One in Zambia, one in Square, and one on Manley Boulevard. And those 3 roads are about to start. So we will be seeing some improvement on road. And also, when I just went here, I got J6 to do about 4 miles of road in there. So we are doing things. It's because of where we are coming from and where we reach. Some people are a little bit anxious.
Yes.
So they feel more or less that it should be do it at a bigger pace. But however, we are doing all that we can, because when we finish with Windsor Heights, it must be a community that you do not have to go outside for services and recreation, but you can stay right here to recreate and to get the services needed.
Comrade Daily, we're getting very close to an election. Speak to us about your readiness for this upcoming election.
Well, I want first and foremost, if you're speaking to me about my constituency, or are you speaking about a national campaign?
No, your constituency.
Oh, well, my constituency is one that is very mixed. A lot of people believe it is a garrison, but no, it is not. We have St. Jago Heights, we have Keystone, we have St. Jago Hills, we have Mount View, we have a number of communities. We have Cayman Estate, we have Union Estate, we have so many other communities that really and truly you have to go and speak to them for them to listen to you, know what is the plan for their areas in order for them to vote. I have been working, but honestly speaking, I have been taken outside of my constituency. I think a little bit too often to go into other constituencies. So, so now I intend, Colin, to zero in on my constituency because I still have one JLP councillor.
You have a JLP councillor?
You're right, and they controlled most of the Twickenham Park division. So it's not a place that I believe it will just roll over and play dead or anybody is going to just give it to me.
You have to put in the work.
Here, yes, and let the people understand what is it that the People's National Party, the government, will offer and what is it that I am going to bring to the table. Again,
you said you have a recording studio in your constituency that anybody who has talent and want to record can record. What else do you have on the agenda for the young people in your constituency?
Well, we are trying to get art to come in because some of them don't want to go outside. We have art already in there, but we want to do a more comprehensive program. So we are upgrading the community center in order that we'll be able to get art to come into the training for those who don't really have that passion to go out to go and get training. We want to bring training to them.
Yes.
I also am looking at to do some training on entrepreneurship because they are very creative there. They can do a lot of things in terms of entertainment and so forth. So I want people to come in now to show them the business side, how they will be able to use those talents to harness not just the talent alone, but to be able to generate income. I also am really passionate about getting some open space to become recreational center because what happened is that there's no place for children to play. There's no place for children to interact. And that is what is breaking down the social norms because they stay in the homes and sometimes, you know, the home, they have a little quarrel, they have a little fuss, and they are in front of everything. When you could send them to these communities, open space to go and recreate.
Yes.
And then, you know, they would be able to be able to socialize better, learn how to interact and to be more tolerant with each other. I personally believe water is one of the biggest crises apart from roads.
Yes.
And I intend to look at some more gravity feed pumps because it's an illiterate and we intend to put in the water so that people will have that made commodity because without water it's almost like you have nothing.
Water is life.
Water is life.
That's the major problem in your constituency, Comrade Daily.
Right, especially in Windsor Heights. We have other problems like the crime and violence, which we have gotten under control because Spanish Town, for over nearly 15 years, we have never had an opportunity to have a peace meeting because we can settle our differences by sitting down and talking about it without involving the police most times and to be able to speak with my neighbor.
How much of Spanish Town is in your constituency?
Well, my constituency starts almost from the salt and the salt factory. I don't know if you know salt factory. And if you take in part of the Emancipation Square, it comes back onto Burke Road on your...
So where the courthouse is in Spanish Town is a part of your constituency?
Right. All of that is my constituency.
The reason why I asked that, because I am a very disappointed Jamaican. Every time I go into Spanish Town to where the courthouse is and look at the surrounding, the history that lies there, and the fact that tourism is not a part of that area, I am very disappointed. Are there any intention to develop that area into a tourist attraction?
I'm going to say something to you now that probably there is an historic foundation, you see, and Spanish Town legacy of in terms of history, I believe is far, far out, in excess of the other communities. That should be a place of a destination for tourists. The entire history of Jamaica lies more so into my constituency.
Yes.
I am very disappointed too. I did a presentation a few years ago about the neglect of our historical sites, our historical buildings, how we treat history, how we treat our heritage sites. And I was told that something will be done. A development plan was done before I leave the parish council. And up until now, it cannot be, and you can't even start. There's a lot of international funding, but you have to have the will to get it. There is an historic foundation with no disrespect. If you try to do something there, they are on spot to tell you it cannot be done. You can't touch that. You can't touch this. However, I believe much more can be done on their side to preserve and to protect and to be able to have that town buzzing again. Spanish Town is one of the town in the Western world that the Georgians create just as it is.
Is that something that you'll be pushing for under the next PNP administration?
100%, 100, because I am a person who love my history and I love preservation. I've gone to other countries and to them use some small little things and the way how they guard it and preserve it, and even making economic benefit from it. I am very sad to know that we have outdo them, outpassed them, and ours are just lying to waste. So I agree with you, Colin. And I can tell you, that is one thing that nobody will have to even remind me that I am putting in my manifesto, because it has to be done, even if we have to form a committee and seek international intervention.
Beautiful. Anything you want to say to my listeners and viewers before I let you go this morning?
I just want to say to your viewers and your listeners that the People's National Party have a comprehensive plan, one that is very holistic. We are not leaving anyone behind. We start with even with persons with disabilities, because we believe disability is not what caused you not to function. It's the access to amenities to carry out your function. I also want to say to them that there is no better person right now to deal with values and attitude, decency, moral, and also to look at development in an holistic way than Mark Jefferson Golding at his time. The People's National Party have a comprehensive plan. We have a plan for education, to transform education, to transform the health sector, to transform agriculture, to transform tourism, and to transform how we look at Jamaica in terms of values and attitude. I believe that the next PNP government will be able to show the people that we put Jamaica, we choose Jamaica, we put people first, and we believe in our people of this great land that we love.
Thank you, MP Denise Daily from the People's National Party. Thank you very much, Shadow Minister of Gender Affairs, right?
Right.
Beautiful.
Right. And persons with disability.
And persons with disability. One love, Comrade Daily. We'll be talking again soon. I will keep in touch with you.
Wonderful. God bless. Have a blessed day now.
Thank you. Same to you. Denise Daily, Shadow Minister of Gender Affairs and Persons with Disabilities. We're going to go straight to Ralston, man, because some things are going on in this country where a whole heap of people don't understand. And a whole heap of people I get bamboozled. Share up the live. Hold on, let me connect you. Share up the live, my people. Like up the live as well. Because teacher is in the house this morning. And when the teacher is in the house, we know everybody learn. So get ready. Ralston, morning.
Yeah, man, morning.
Welcome to the show. Big up yourself, my brother.
Yeah, man, God.
Why a whole heap of things we are watch and a view? Why the government is offering civil servant 0% in the first year? Why is it that they are now going to a 4 years agreement with only 7.5% to the people?
Well, we don't even know, I only can tell you that is a monumental exercise in stupidity because inflation is expected to run at over 20% during that period of time. So what they basically have to ask the workers to take a pay cut.
Hold on then. Hold on, Ralston. Let's start with year one. 0%. And you're saying inflation for this financial year is going to be 5%?
5% and change. It's now end up at 5%. It'll end up more like 6% because of what happened internationally. So when I realized I asked the workers now to take a pay cut of over 6% or 6% during the year one, the workers who are already behind. So there might have further erosion of standard of living.
So how is it then? Because this is what we now understand. The economy is doing well and we manage the economy well. And you are offering 0% in the first year, 7.5 for the next 3 years. That work out to a 2.5 per year. How that work out?
That can't make sense. And I tell you that the economy is not doing well because if the economy was doing well, they'll be collecting more revenues. Last year they collected 16.4 billion less than expected.
16.4 billion less.
Because of the underperformance of the economy.
But we don't hear this, Ralston. Will you talk about them something?
Yeah, because we have taught the figures them. The people who want to talk now do not talk the figures. They just give them personal opinions. So, it's not a data driven. We are the only people who are dealing with data driven analysis.
So government revenue fall for the financial year, what? 23, 24, 25?
Yeah, man.
By 16 billion.
Yeah, man. 1.5% below what was expected.
And they are projecting to collect for 24, 25, 26. What is the projection that they are planning to collect?
949 million. They are not going to make that target because the economy is in a terrible shape. All of the companies that got reported for the first quarter of this year or the year ending this year, that's March 31. Blue chip companies are making significant losses or significant declines in their profitability. And all of the companies in their reports say that it is a weak aggregate demand. People don't have any money to spend. People don't have any money to buy anything. And then the Affairs Minister is now telling the workers who don't have any money to buy anything that they must take a wage cut over the next 4 years.
So we're talking about teachers, nurses, and this morning I hear the police them are said.
Yeah, they tell the police something about them overtime.
Tell her. Why would the government
we hear that from yesterday, man. We see the circle.
Tell the police not to do any more overtime?
Because they can't pay them.
No, hold on. I want to say something to Jamaica. We see the Prime Minister going around the country trying to give away everything. Giving away everything. If the country was in a good economic position, you think that the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance would have tell the police them say stop doing overtime? They're not paying no more overtime? You think the government would have offer civil servant 0%? Unless you're telling me that the government...
And most importantly, if the economy was doing well, you think companies like Wisimco, Separate Group, JMMD, Barita Investment would be making significantly less profit main events.
Companies like main event win and entertainment industry will tell you that there's a 58% reduction in their profits because people don't have any money for entertainment.
That is right. And we can play those clips so all the doubters out there. Me sit down in a Ralston and me listen to the entertainment report at morning time. And me record it, you know. We hear the companies after companies making less profit, losing money.
Yeah, man.
And at the same time, the Prime Minister is out there telling you that the economy is doing well.
Prime Minister chatting to because the economy was doing well, the economy that declined by 3.3% during the third quarter of last year, and then by 0.8% in the fourth quarter. And then even the most optimistic scenario where they said estimates of growth is 0.8% in the first quarter. That's not an economy that is doing well.
Why is starting so slow though, Ralston? Has they have always been this slow?
Sorry?
Why is starting so slow? Have they always been
this slow? Starting has always been slow. They're always a quarter behind. So I get the figures next month. Somewhere next week I get the first quarter data.
So they are a quarter behind.
More likely next week, Monday or about Wednesday I get it.
You mean Monday I come? Day after?
Yeah, man. 30th of June, man. They're always a quarter behind.
A quarter behind. But they've been throwing out some figures, don't?
Yeah, but you know the difference between starting. Starting actually go out the field under the survey. That's why I said them things takes so long. And so just run some numbers through the computer when they're getting gut feeling, yeah.
Oh, but
that's why they call it estimates. Yeah, so when they put some number in or something and run some numbers and tell us that starting actually send people to measure the thing.
With all these companies losing money, Ralston, and I think I hear from a businessman that said that companies are laying off a lot of people too.
Yeah, man, then the companies are making less profit and lose money. They have to lay off people, yeah. So they will find unemployment and increase.
So is the government misleading the people of Jamaica going into the election?
No, the government has spread out propaganda that they're not doing anything to mitigate the downturn in the economy. Yeah? See, the IMF tell them now, say, yo, leg of the dollar. Yeah?
What?
The IMF tell them to leg of the dollar, make it run.
What that mean? Tell us what that means.
Because the intervention will not make no sense. It means to make it fine to one level. And the BOJ must intervene.
The IMF tell the Bank of Jamaica and the government of Jamaica that they must stop spending. Last year they spent $1.1 billion.
Since the start of this year, they spent $470 million. They intervened 17 times since the start of this year.
$470 million. Are we talking about United States dollars, people?
Yeah, and on the other side, because they intervened not two, they intervened with putting United States dollars in the market and then intervene by taking out Jamaican dollars out of the system. They take out 125 million Jamaican dollars between last year this time and now.
125 what?
Billion Jamaican dollars, on which we are paying 6% per annum. And lock it up in the vault.
So I remember, I think it was last year, the Prime Minister was somewhere criticizing the former PNP administration that they were floating bonds and that was not investment, that was not good. But is the same thing happening now?
Same thing happening right now.
How much they have taken out of the market from the Ralston?
Sorry?
How much they have taken out of the market from the other day in terms of the bonds that they have floated? How much money they will collect?
Last week alone, when the dollar dropped to 1.6 to 1.9 before they took out 52 billion on Wednesday.
52 billion. And since the year started, you said they take out how much, 100 hours?
Since April of last year to last week is 125 billion. CDs are the instrument that do fixed rate certificate of deposit.
So they are borrowing on the local market at 6%.
That's the Bank of Jamaica. Government are borrowing more than that, man. Government are borrowing 7 or 8%.
Wax, fire, blade.
So the government have around $58 million this year. That's different from the money that the Bank of Jamaica muffs up.
So the government 158 billion is different from what the Bank of Jamaica is mapping up.
Yeah, man.
Mapping up liquidity, so too much money in the
government borrowing to fund the budget. Bank of Jamaica mapping up to stabilize the dollar.
So when the Bank of Jamaica said that there's too much money in the society, what would that mean? Explain that to my listeners. What does that
Well,
mean?
them do that for map up liquidity, and that is why the IMF is telling them what they're doing is an expensive process because our job for the spot and I use the reserves on a map up liquidity, yeah, in an environment where there's limited liquidity. That's why the poor people and so poor, God, they can't find the money to spend, because the Bank of Jamaica get the money out of circulation and lock it up in the vault and tell them to protect the dollar. So the IMF are telling them to stop the foolishness. Let go the dollar for run. But the other part of the IMF will tell them is that if you let go the dollar for run, it means you have to have policy to generate more foreign exchange. The IMF expect them a big man to understand that if you boost up agriculture, so you can see a foreign exchange. If you boost up renewable energy, so you can see a foreign exchange. If you integrate the creative industry, the tourism industry, so you can earn more foreign exchange. If you deal with logistics, so you can earn more foreign exchange. If you train the people, that you're more productive. Yeah? The IMF not believe them as to tell them things because the IMF believe them a big man.
Them should have known.
And them to know them thing. And that is why the IMF said Nigel Clark, Brazil could carry that message and things said, well, I pick up the message. But it look like the Prime Minister so desperate to get enough power that he not pick up the message then.
But is the people of Jamaica understanding where we are now, Ralston?
No, the people of Jamaica don't understand. And people like me and you and the other people who have certain responsibility to make the people understand what is happening, and that's a foolishness like that.
But
some of the people who do that then give up their responsibility to do that, like the University of the West Indies and then places some segments of the media, some segments of the private sector, or them like Omar and them on them. I said like it is.
But even the opposition, do you think the opposition is doing?
No, they're not doing enough now, because even this thing about the dollar, the opposition spokesman should not talk about it right now. Yesterday I said, McCarlin yesterday I'm not giving a response about it either. I'm making most of the people who want to hear from all about this, how that deal this problem. So it's a minus for them that they not come out and outline and take the opportunity to tell the people how they will deal with this problem.
And to really be highlighting it more.
Yeah, man. When they're looking at them duty in relation to that to the Jamaican people.
Looking at where this economy is now and back in 2011, how close are we to that position of 2011? And just before you answer for
at least it's a 2011, it's a kind of dial back to that. The only problem is that we have reserves and the unemployment figure is low, but in terms of value added, we're not getting the kind of value added that is required.
So we're heading down a road of destruction if we continue on this trajectory.
Yeah, man, the economy down a road of destruction, yeah. So it needs some stimulus right now, yeah.
And what would you suggest to be done right now, Ralston?
What I suggest for right now is that the Jamaican people have to take a stock and realize what they want. And then when they realize what they want, whoever they want have to come and say, yo, we have got all out to boost aggregate supply. Simply translated, we have pursue policies to deal with growth. Yeah? So right away, the energy policy has to kick in right so we can reduce the cost of energy. The policy in relation to agriculture has to kick in so that we can cut the food import bill. The policy are more closely integrating tourism with creative and all of this so we can get more. Up to last week, Martin Luther King get more money from tourism. We have to deal with it. Yeah. So what I said, what we need our policies to drive growth and to train the workers to facilitate that growth.
Do we need more investment?
Yeah, of course.
And if the Bank of Jamaica keep taking back the money and saying to people who have money to invest, don't invest. Lodge the money with me.
That's why I said that demand management policy. We have to stop that. We have to stop that practice. The man who set up that practice and going. Tell the people in Brazil so we have to reverse that now. I'll do this if I get the memo. I'll see if I never get the memo from the old man. If I talk as the IMF man or I talk as the Minister of Finance of JMT Fund.
So I talk the real thing now.
You might have the real thing now because IMF said about that for do that now because in change that now. You might work with the IMF now, so you might just say what IMF has said.
Ralston, how much have we exported since the year 2025 began?
260 million.
How much?
$306 million.
$306 million in export.
Mm.
What is our import?
1.321 million.
1.321 billion.
Yeah, man.
Wow. So you're
So
talking
the deficit
about...
was over $1 billion. So if you analyze that, we run a deficit again of about $7 billion this year. That's why the dollar under pressure, because when the man them look down the road, the man them move smart. Man say, yo, nothing now go on there, so I'm going to buy the dollar and protect yourself, because nothing now go on and them buy more than them sell, so the value of the dollar will drop. So
hold on.
US dollar. That in itself creates what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy and drive down the rate faster.
Break up. Listeners, viewers, we have about 800 odd people and listen right now on the platform, Ralston. I will know a whole heap more of a giant later, because every show we do have over 5,000 views.
Okay.
What I am saying to the people in the diaspora, the people of Jamaica right now, we export over $306 million, but we have imported $1.3 billion already from the year start.
Yeah, man.
So where we get the US dollar to pay this money?
Sorry?
Where do we get US dollars to pay for this import?
Well, that is what I'm saying to you. That is why the private people are doing the importing. That is why they are rushing the dollar. So me, the businessman, I know the dollar scarce and they have my bills to pay. I try to get as much dollars as possible. So all of we going and build up the rate, and that's why the rate I'm going to car is a rat race to get the dollar car. When I'm going to look down the road, I'm going to say, yo, there are big gaps between what you are spending in terms of dollar and what you are earning. So there's a scarcity of dollars. So I'm going to say, yeah, every man I overbuy, and that is what causing the pressure.
Explain to me in all of this, with all of this you just tell me, and the government giving away $12.4 billion in 2020,000. Tell me, what is the rationale for that?
Well, the rationale for that is politics. The government, they don't have something sensible. They might do the coffee farmers, the change of 50 million when they want. They're going to spend some in terms of increasing agriculture. They're going to spend some on the cocoa industry. Cocoa, almost $9,000 for a metric ton. They're going to have the productive thing. These are not the cheap vote buying exercises.
The coffee industry said that they want what, $300 million Jamaican, so that them can export over $100 million US worth of coffee.
Exactly, over a 5-year period, yeah. And that will just amount to about 1.6 billion, but they give it $12.4 billion just by votes. The government is not productive. The Prime Minister is not productive.
I want to say that the Andrew Holness-led administration has parted with the rent money.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
so
man.
Is the rent money, then give me $20,000 to go buy a rum.
One night to go buy rum and boom and clothes and
deals.
Yeah, rather than production. They must spend valuable resources on consumption when we need more production.
This is serious, Ralston. I don't know if the people are realizing. Hold on. I would like to see if Ralston, I don't know if I ask you or ask, how Jamaica marginal prosperity to spend and how would it help the economy? Jamaicans are earning higher wages. I don't understand it.
No, when I said the marginal propensity to consume.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. If you have a high marginal propensity to consume and you have a high marginal propensity to produce, you have the poor. And that's happened to Jamaica. Jamaica consume a lot more, produce very little. The problem with Jamaica is overconsumption and underproduction. And the government is facilitating that by giving away free money for consumption rather than production, just to buy votes.
That is
right.
That is it.
He's right.
You give away $12.4 billion. That could have...
When people who are producing and can earn foreign exchange are asking for money for years and you're not getting the money. Because then people are people who have a run will vote for you. Yeah?
Is the government mismanaging the economy at this time, Ralston?
Yeah, man. Not just at this time, at long time. So 9 o'clock, because 9 o'clock start to mismanage it and now when they got IMF, you might tell them to reverse when they do.
point out to my listeners and viewers areas of the mismanagement that you speak
The biggest
to.
area of the biggest area of mismanagement is the paying down the debt rapidly at the expense of everything. Investments in infrastructure, investments in human resources. The same thing everyone Isaac Clark has to look to know. Yeah, that's the mismanagement. Because after I do that in Jamaica now, it go and I tell people in Brazil, so the IMF say if you invest more in energy, the IMF say your growth rate too short, the IMF say must invest more in people, the IMF say must invest more in productivity, the IMF say must invest more in infrastructure.
While he paid the debt faster than we had needed to. But they are saying by doing that, Ralston, now they have economic space where they can get more money.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you now, yeah, you have economic space where you can get more funds, but I'm gonna let the money alone because you pay your debt. I'm gonna say, based on where you do, we don't see have the capacity to grow fast, just as Isaac Clark has said in the future. So if you any money in the future, we have difficulty in getting it back because you sacrifice all of your growth options in order to pay down your debt. Translated simply, your woman said, boy, I left you now. Yeah, and you have to like say, boy, boss, we pay off the bank now so we can pay attention to you. But she said, all the time, whenever they are paying attention to me, the house rotten now, the pick of them done, and couldn't get to the doctor, and me mash up. So me now go with another man who can balance the thing better, when can pay in debt, when can also take care of me and my family. So now I come back to you.
All the money that the government is spending now, they said that they're going to start the Port Antonio bypass, 81 million US dollars. They're going to do the Boundbrook Urban Center, $4 billion. Does the government have the wherewithal to do all of that right now?
Them things are the promises, man. This is where the money comes from. Them can pay the police to the overtime and then say crime and then major strategy. That's where the money get money from. Them things are the key promises. Just as I said, the woman gone and I run out and walk and I said, baby, never do this now. Never do that now. And she said, so when I do all of the years they have for 10 years, when I do all the 10 years period, she not fool. That is why all the man them thing and them numbers now moving at the poll. So I bring it to a simple thing like a woman and a man.
Yes.
The woman says she gone now I run behind her and I said, never do this now. She said, no, you have for 10 years, so I never do them something.
No, Raleigh, the people of Jamaica are looking forward for things to change when the PNP come into power. What kind of finances are going to be there to really make these changes? Isn't it that anybody from the next government have to go make some tough decisions?
Tough decisions, there are significant fiscal difficulties, but when we have to dump some of the stupid promises that this government they can use the money to fund them thing. Yeah, so what I said, there are a whole lot of discussionary things in the budget in terms of what Andrew will say what do. In terms of our priority, because every government have a different priority. We might have to dump some of them something and transfer the money to the basic things that we need: education, healthcare, transportation. And another thing, in terms of mobilizing more investments from the diaspora and external people, because a lot of people now invest because the Prime Minister not accountable to the country. 4 years past and the declaration cancer. You know, people have the Prime Minister since the top man with one man not invest to that because of the thing about corruption and the integrity report. Now, Mark Gold is a man different now, they have the problems there, so it's easier to mobilize investments.
So you're saying foreign direct investment will come easier with a Prime Minister whose statutory filing has been certified, a summary has been made public.
Yeah. We see it has been clean because the perception is that this Prime Minister is not clean in terms of finances. And in now, they don't find the campaign trail to talk to the people about that. So the people are not part of the problem with that, like lots of confidence. People are not confident in the Prime Minister because of the relationship with the Integrity Commission. Yeah, the Prime Minister really government. Yeah, the head of government, so they take the whole government. Just like the head of our household, I bring it to our household. So if the husband of our household is taken, they take the money household. So the Prime Minister take the government. And because of that, I want people who want to beat them. And that is why I'm looking when I buy the dollar card. I say, I can't have money sitting in Jamaica. I buy US dollar card, the best money in the world. That's a simple thing, a simple thing.
So, hold on. So, am I to understand you saying that people in the international community looks at this problem with the Prime Minister's statutory filing not certified and use that to determine that, listen, I can't invest in Jamaica right now?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And the members of the diaspora, too, who are the biggest contributors to the economy, they said the same thing up to Wednesday we were at a conference, and they must say the same thing. Confidence in the economy is a problem because of all of these issues related to corruption. Yeah.
So, hold on then. So, if I say to you that based on what you just said to me, that Andrew Holness is like an albatross around Jamaica's neck, would I be making a correct statement?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Even around his own party's neck, he can't sell them. He can't sell them. That's why even within the party has problem because they believe he can't sell them.
So,
because he paid.
So, hold on now. Hold on. Jamaica is in a position where we need foreign direct investment. We need.
I need the diaspora for content to send us money to.
That is another thing. But you are saying because the Integrity Commission has not certified the Prime Minister and there are issues with him, that is a major part of our problem.
Prime Minister and SSL is a major part of our problem. Like the Clarkin himself, this SSL thing, we don't leave it stone all the time because it's going to damage Jamaica's reputation internationally. Yeah.
But right now, no stone no turn.
That's the point I'm making. And I just can't run down and leave it. Yeah, so them things create a problem. Yeah.
But how do we now clean up this? Because even when Mark Golding become Prime Minister, the SSL issue is still going to be there. And people abroad, because I have gone abroad and people said to me, Shaka, how me I come to Jamaica and rob you seeing and you see it can't get back your money. Then nobody, me when I have the name, how me I get back my money?
Yeah, so Mark Golding has to try and do something to resolve the SSL issue as in promise. Everybody said promise that there will be a full-scale inquiry. So you have to implement that and thing as quick as it comes. In other words, Mark Golding's greatest responsibility if he becomes Prime Minister is to restore confidence, international confidence in Jamaica. So all them SSL issues, declaration issues, you must have to deal with them things. So one year, you have to depart the economic track at the same time. So you have to have a finance minister who wants to deal with things to promote growth. So at the same time, you have to deal with things to promote confidence. So between them and Julian and Tony Hilton, they have to get on the job as fast as possible.
So this thing with the Prime Minister is not just a Jamaica thing.
No, man, an international thing, man. The man, I tell them whenever you're Nigel Clark, man. And Nigel Clark is sister, you know. Both this SSL and the whole thing, you know. That's why I make sure Teko himself out of it because he want to be an international man, as you say. So he don't want to get painted by them things. That's why Teko himself on the island.
So why is it then that people are not calling for the Prime Minister to step forward, clear up in Integrity Commission issue and deal with the SSL? He's out there on platform every day speaking to the people, but he's not speaking with the people. Why?
All the Mark Golding and SSL, all of the people that we are trying to tell us what takes place in Jamaica, where the people who can talk and want to talk about things don't want to talk for whatever reasons, and the masses no business are to understand them things. Yeah. The universities, the higher level people and the church man, they're not call for that. The media are call for that. Mark Golding and the more call for that, and that's why you have the situation.
And I heard that journalist asked Dayton Campbell Wednesday night, you keep riding this corruption thing, it's not getting you anywhere.
For a journalist to be saying that, it tells you about a part of the problem. Yeah, but it's a good thing that the General Secretary also made it clear, because that's not true, because the people, the CNP people, they need to talk about it some more, but even at the level of the journalistic community, they've outlined a range and a raft of policies to deal with some of the problems related to the economy. So that's not true to say the corruption they want to talk about. They want to talk about everything. What they need to do, make the people know say it is because of corruption why they can't get proper health care. It is because of corruption why the education system is like it is. It is because of corruption why we're not mobilizing enough investment. So they have to point out to the people how corruption affects their ability to get the basic needs and the basic services that they need on a daily basis.
Ralston,
that's an explanation need for them.
The Jamaican dollar is now at where?
Well, yesterday it was at 160.82 after the central bank intervened. This time they intervened another $45 billion. But we have a seat to go back next week because The 45 million when they put in the money and said they do have 73. So they were excess demand of $38 million yesterday.
So the IMF said that the Bank of Jamaica must stop intervene in the exchange market. The Bank of
tell them by action, so you can't tell me that because I'm not do that the whole thing I run upon them now look like me an idiot. So they intervene at 45 million. So the normal intervention is 30 million, so they had 45 million. And even when they put 45 million, the demand was for 73 million.
So what
tells you about the heavy demand for the Jamaican dollar?
For the US dollar?
Yeah, for the US dollar. So I'll see it drop back again next week come Monday because the money might come back to the money. So when I try to go out in terms of the policy to deal with this.
So what is your projection for what is your projection for Monday?
Well, let me see if I go back to 161. We're 168.2 now. So with a 30 or 38 excess minimum, if the bank, I believe the Bank of Jamaica intervene again Monday with another 40 million. So if they don't do that, then it all drop back to about 161.
So you're saying that you believe the Bank of Jamaica will ignore the IMF? And
no, but then that already and about intervene, I make sure they intervene again Monday or Tuesday.
So if they continue,
so if they don't meet the excess demand, it means the dollar will drop again.
So if they continue to intervene, thus ignoring the IMF instructions, what are the implications for that?
Well, because we don't have to borrow money from IMF, they can't recommend, they can't punish with nothing.
Okay. But what then are the implications for the Jamaican economy?
Well, what happens is that the reserves are run down.
Also, they must start dipping at the reserve.
Yeah, well, we're down by 59 million in May, so it's a drop deeper because they intervene every year. Yeah, but they'll start taking more than the reserves. And if them continue to take out Jamaican dollar out of the liquidity out of the system of Jamaican dollar, it means that firms will make less profits and more people are getting laid off. And you'll have more poverty. And it means that more criminality and you'll have enough police to be in this kind of so the police have to work overtime and they can't pay them.
I love my listeners and viewers. I say Everton, Fenton. Man, just bring something to my attention that I have to ask you about, Ralston. The United States Embassy said that they are calculating the rate at 65 Jamaican dollars to 1.
Right, but when that said, Omar Azan did tell them that already. So I remember that the thing that we buy for the supermarket sell for 165 now. Omar Azan did tell them that and then call them our customer. Now the US Embassy come out and say that when a powerful agency like the US Embassy do that is going to make more people do that. So whenever our price at 165, our price at 165, don't call Omar Azan did tell them that and make sure the other money call them our customer
But what does this do to the confidence of the Jamaican economy and the dollar now? Is the embassy really looking out for us when they do that?
No, but the money must say, I mean, I do a business, the money tells them we need that to cover them costs. They do a business and them say the market at price at 165. The market price at 165 because everybody want to cover them costs. What happens is that the consumers never feel it. So whoever for these never feel it, just like who buy a supermarket never feel it. A supermarket feels our job. And all of them things. That is why the firms are moving out the retail sector now make the money because the prices are too high for consumers to get low wages.
So does that mean that the black market is at 165?
Yeah, man, that is what the Omar Azan tell them already, man, at 165, man. Omar Azan tell them 2 weeks ago, say most of the people in the team sector, the retail sector, price at 165 because the money man talk about replacement cost. So if you buy your things at 161 and sell it at 161, then you go back to buy dollars. You can only get dollars at 165. You lose money, so everybody are priced out at 165. Yeah.
In 2016, Ralston, this administration said to us, the foundation is strong for the Jamaican economy. We are going to grow the economy by 5% in 4 years. Where did they fail?
Well, them said the same thing in 2007. Yeah, and I'm saying to you, them fail because them overpay the debt and ignore the things that to generate growth, infrastructure, the people, energy. Over 10 years, they've not put out an energy policy, agriculture, they neglect all of the productive sectors of the economy. And that is why the man who caused them to do it and make him name, the IMF, now come back and tell them, say, yo, I don't think I'm going to start the now. But they're not get the memo.
Ralston, man, we can only tell the people the truth.
Yeah, man.
And put the data on the table.
Yeah, man.
They say that there has been no new taxes since 2016. Have there been any increase in taxes since 2016?
Well, that is what I said. That matter of semantics. You know what I said? When you say a new taxes, it means they create a new category and say you have a tax. So there was no new category was tax. But they collect more taxes from the existing categories of taxes, not to the consumer. It doesn't matter whether the tax is new, right? As long as you have paid more taxes, your disposable income or the amount of money you have to spend shrink. Simple. So, yeah.
And let me just say something to some people, because I put out a thing the other day.
I remember if you have a figure.
Go ahead.
In the previous fiscal year, they collected 822 billion in taxes. This year, they are projected to collect 949.49 billion, so over 100 billion more. Yeah.
But how does
they not create a tax and so a tax back here? They might collect more taxes
from
the same.
How do they get more? How do they get more? Isn't it that they are increasing some taxes and some because of the price of the cost of living? They get more from GCT.
Remember the bulk of the taxes are indirect taxes. So as the price of something go up, so something where they sell $100 and them collect 15% GCT, that is $15. When the price of that thing go up to $200, then collect $30 in terms of GCT. So as the price will increase, then collect more taxes.
Also, they have increased the cost to get driver's license. Isn't that taxes? Isn't that taxes?
Well, you them know. You them con the people with that. Then tell them to them, the people them say them think they are fees and the taxes are fees.
But isn't it taxes?
Of course, that's not the same
all fees and service costs that you pay to the government is taxes.
Yeah, man. But I use some nice name and call non-tax revenue.
Rubbish.
But are the same thing. Yeah.
Hold on for me, Ralston. Don't move. Hold on a second. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
You want to talk to Ralston?
Man, I wanted to read that I want to talk about.
Hold on. Call me on the next. You have another number for me, don't?
No.
You don't have a 422 number for me?
Yeah, let me do that.
Call me on that number.
Yeah.
Ralston. You know who that just called me?
Yeah.
Marlon Morgan.
Yeah, man.
Say more have a reasoning with you.
With me?
Yes, right now.
Yeah, man.
So, he might call me. Hold on. Mr. Morgan. Marlon? Hold on. All right, so I'm supposed to have Marlon, Morgan, and Ralston on the same line. Marlon, morning.
Morning, actually.
Ralston is on the line too.
Yeah, man, I know that. I'm sorry.
You hearing him, Ralston?
I understand about alcohol matters, yeah?
Go right ahead.
Mr. Iron, when a government is managing an economy, right, and you have your fiscal program, do you seek to collect less in taxes or more in taxes?
Well, it depends on the fiscal program. So if you have a program that calls for more, you collect more taxes. So what's the problem?
My brother, when you're presiding over an economy, you want the economy to be performing in such a way that you have increased aggregate demand, increased spending, and the knock-on effect from that are increased tax receipts. The very increased government revenues that will put you in a position to do more in terms of screening equipment and diagnostic equipment in around the country. You were presenting a while ago, suggests that something bad is happening in the economy or something.
Hold on.
Hold on, Marlon.
No, yeah, I'm just showing you something. What I said to you said. Yeah, the man asked me if there's more collection of taxes rather than less collection of taxes. I mean, I explained to him that you're collecting more taxes. Or the argument was about new and more. So what I said to the man, just correctly, is that you never name a new category of tax. but you're collecting more taxes from the existing
But you're
taxes.
framing it really as though it were a bad thing. That is
No.
Hold on,
Raleigh, hold on, Marlon.
Yeah.
What I am saying, Marlon, is that there have been no new taxes, but there have been increase in taxes.
But nobody is denying that. In other words,
Good. So that's all we are saying.
Remember now, the tax rate has remained the same. Yeah. The tax take, which is what you want to happen anyway, is increasing because that is what will allow you to offer better wages, perhaps to your public.
I understand that. All we're saying was that the people wanted an explanation as to the difference between new and more. And I'm saying to you correctly that you never name any new taxes, but you are collecting more taxes from the existing tax categories.
And you have, hold on. And you have also increased taxes. AE, you have increased taxes on driver's license. You have increased taxes on gun license, among other things. So you have also increased.
These are fees.
Those are taxes.
I'm not going to argue that point.
Yes. Marlon, driver's license, motor vehicle registration. Hold on. We are going to make you move, but hold on. Driver's license, motor vehicle license, gun license, all of those are taxes.
I told you that the people are going to categorize those things as fees.
But they are taxes. They are taxes to the government. Go ahead, Marlon.
All right, let's look at productivity a bit. Would you agree with me, Raleigh, that irrigating lands, urban lands in Jamaica, puts you in a better position to have farmers undertaking more production and linking back to other processing facilities and so on? Would you agree on that point?
All right, I agree with you, but here's the problem now, Marlon. Only 50% of the lands are irrigated, so we're moving too slow for them to get. So I agree with you, we're moving too slow.
Yeah. But juxtapose where we are today, therefore, to where we have been, let us say 25 years ago, aren't we in a better place than when PJ Patterson was superintending this country?
No.
Yeah, but what's the difference now? Remember, we got that.
Let's look at the difference now. You have some intentional things happening. Yesterday, I sat in the Senate, and Kamina was pointing out a number of things that the Ministry of Agriculture is doing to intentionally mainstream youth in agriculture. Allowing them, for example, setting aside 20% of the acreage in agri parks for young people, women, and of course members of the disabled community. A number of these initiatives, my brother, are aimed at bringing more people into the productive base of the economy and getting more people farming of the papayas in the country, the orchard crops such as ackee and mangoes, and of course the other cash crops such as callaloo, lettuce, tomatoes, you name it.
Marlon, is agriculture up or down?
Irrigation helps to unlock your farming potential.
Of course, I agree with that, but I'm saying to you, we're moving much too slow on those things. That's the point I'm making. We don't have a problem with that.
Is agriculture up? Marlon.
I'm holding because you're chiming in. Go ahead.
Is agriculture up or down in terms of the performance or output right now?
The crop center is when Mr. Roscoe track the numbers from the
agriculture down by 12%.
And Roscoe would appreciate that we are still in a mode of recovery because whether Mark Golding is Prime Minister or Ann Jonas is Prime Minister, we are vulnerable to the vicissitudes of weather or the vagaries of weather.
Marlon, hold on a little bit before you go to the fix. This same issue that caused us to be down happens in other Caribbean countries and they are up by 3 and 4%. What is the difference? Why Jamaica is down while they are up by 3 and 4%?
Well, first of all, when weather impacts people, you do not necessarily have a symmetrical impact. So remember, Jamaica's breadbasket space is really that Manchester space, particularly the St. Elizabeth space. Yes, and those were the areas most adversely impacted by periods and just really the sustained rainfall that we had throughout 2024. But I want to make this important point, gentlemen. Raleigh, focused attention is being placed at present on the whole issue of resilience.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I hear you.
the whole point is that our farmers have been exposed to the vulnerabilities of drought conditions because from time to time we may get too much rainfall or we get weather, we call it hurricanes and so on. And then there are other periods where we have drought. Now that the ministry is responding with what is called irrigation kits, what are called irrigation kits, drip irrigation in particular, to ensure that more of those men and women down in Flagaman and Treasure Beach and elsewhere in St. Elizabeth, Southfield and elsewhere are able to be more resilient, my brother, to unlock their potential. So I hear you that the pace of some of the things may be too slow, but we cannot overlook in this conversation, Ronnie, the sheer fact that we had a global pandemic and certain things have to be priorities in terms of focused attention by government.
But Marlon, why are we, hold on, Marlon, why are we only second to 80? Only 80 is worse than us in the region then. Since you're managing the economy so well. Beryl gone over a year ago. There are farmers that have not done anything from the government, but you give away $12.4 billion in 2020,000.
All right,
and
let me explain something fundamentally. And Ralston may appreciate this. Ralston would appreciate that we have had a period in this country where our people have been taxed left, right, and center. Our people have borne the brunt of the burden as the Jamaican authorities, successive administrations, right, have worked to right our economy in terms of stabilize it. We navigated an IMF program and so on. So these people who were called upon, this government, Colin, led by Jones, is unapologetic in using some of the dividends gleaned from the hard-earned successes that we're realizing in the country and helping them because a number of persons,
Marlon, we don't reach this yet. You're partying with the rent money. You are partying with the rent money.
Well, Colin, just give me 20 seconds to this point before you come to that question. Roxanne, one of the things I want to point out to both you and Colin, is that things are not mutually exclusive. In other words, you see, in as much as government is providing support to people in terms of a relief and the reverse income tax credit and the 20,000 from the Solidarity Program, the things that are fostering productivity are happening simultaneously, my brother.
No, not Marlon. So tell me, if you give the coffee farmers the 250 million per annum that they need over a 5-year period to boost coffee exports to $100 million and fix the roads and the coffee bill. Don't you believe that would be a better use and have a more long-lasting and sustainable impact on the
That's an excellent point. Excellent hypothetical situation. But I'll respond to you by saying this, right? If we approach the national budget from that opportunity cost standpoint only, where would that leave us? In other words, we have athletes. I'm coming from the stadium last night. Jamaica athletic prowess. You probably want to pull up your window, right? Pull up your window in your vehicle. Yeah, we are coming, Jamaica's athletic prowess has served us well. See? Right. Now, we would want to do more for our athletes to be able to withstand them having to go and consider options elsewhere. So when you have a national budget, you have hospitals to sort out, you have farm roads to sort out, you have the athletes to give some kind of support and accommodation, and it is the business of growing the pie that helps you to better respond.
Marlon?
That instead of giving these people the $20,000 for the Solidarity Program, and the Prime Minister said it in a rally, the Prime Minister said it's $20,000 for the Solidarity. It's not just a blind money, you know. It is a conditional cash grant because you want to put yourself as government in a position to be able to have these people registered with the state, as it were, to receive benefits in a more structured way going forward.
Marlon, let me tell you what. Go ahead, Ralston. You go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you, Marlon.
Yeah.
That the balance has to be better because you know it is production and productivity that is going to create the growth that are going to make those programs sustainable.
And the farming, rather,
you see, to be spending more on those things than on the things that are productive.
Hold on, Marlon. When Raleigh talk, go ahead, Raleigh. Make him talk and make me talk and we make you talk, man. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Yeah, man. So what I said to Marlon,
yeah.
My analysis is that you are spending more on these issues, short-term issues, because of the short-term political effect, rather than those long-term issues that are going to create sustainable growth and a better standard of living for the people.
Well, I hear earlier.
All right, hold on, Marlon. Let me come in and then you come back. Because what I want to tell you, that the Andrew Holness-led administration is partying with the rent money. How so? The government is in dire straits. Right now, the IMF is telling your government and the Bank of Jamaica to stop intervening in saving the dollar. We are low on production. Hold on. Let me finish. Marlon, let me finish. The country has already imported $1.3 billion and we only export $306 million. We are very short on production. That 12, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. Hold on, Marlon, let me finish. Yeah. We are not producing. Your government is investing in consumption. And that's why they give away $12.4 billion in 2020. Hold on, Marlon. When we all make you talk. When me talk, make me talk. When Raleigh talk, make him talk. And we all make you talk. The government is squandering the gains. Since 2016, you have allowed the infrastructure of this country to rot. And all of a sudden, in 6 months, you want to build back all the infrastructure. You have allowed farming to fall. After burial, you have not invested in our farmers enough so that to bring back agriculture. You have not invested in the culture and the creative industry to bring foreign exchange to this country. You have not invested in renewable energy since 2016. And now we are paying 40 to 50 cents US per kilowatt hour. You have squandered the rent money. Go ahead.
All right, Colin, I'll say this fundamentally to you, because I can understand and appreciate our divergence of views, because you are seeking to frame the government's fiscal program and management of the economy along the lines of things being mutually exclusive, because I am putting it to you that a number of things are happening at the same time. I give you a simple example. This past week, the Prime Minister attended upon an event at Garmex, right? You remember that farm rally? Yeah. And he also attended upon what is called the MJS, Industrial and Technology Park. Mm-hmm. These things are serving to put people into employment first and foremost, business engagement in terms of business outfits being able to rent space at relatively competitive rates and do their operations. All of that is on the productivity side, my brother. So do not begrudge or berate our Jamaican brothers and sisters, the 50,000 of them who will stand to benefit from the upcoming, the recently launched solidarity program. I can appreciate, that you are coming to the discussion by seeing that, hey, it is better to fix farm roads, and it is better to do this, and it is better to do that. But we are saying all of the same things, my brothers, are happening simultaneously. Just yesterday in the Senate, I pointed out to the PNP senators that in their term of office, they fixed 24 farm roads, and in this term, well, in the past 2 terms, since March 2016 rally, we have attended to over 400 farm roads. So I do take a point, because farm roads are important to facilitating our farmers, moving them or linking the farm gate to the marketplace, to the hotels. So I understand that, but I do not want us to have a discussion where people are seeing the
It's not what you want. It's not what you want. It's not what you want, Marlon. Because we have to call out the rubbish. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Good point. So once if we match it out, we are run a series of multiple simultaneous equations. What you are doing for most of the period up to now, before we approach the election, was to concentrate on one equation, getting the debt to GDP ratio down. So we were always contending that, we need to do that, but the debt to GDP is a ratio. So you can get it down by focusing on the debt alone, and you can also get it down by focusing on debt and growth at the same time. You never paid enough attention to the growth initiatives. And now that you are doing that, when the people are on the road, I told them, say election up on
that's what I'm
timing. The timing, the sequencing of the policies, Marlon. That is what I talk about.
Well, and that's fine. So let me respond to that now by saying this, right? Now, first and foremost, paying down the debt is all a part of helping to restructure and get the Jamaican economy.
Yeah, man, we don't have a problem with that.
I know that is the springboard to freeing up more people. Ultimately, to do more for grandma, to do more for the retired teacher, and all of the Jamaican brothers and sisters of ours who we need to sort out. However, the key point is this: when you manage the affairs of the economy in such a way, right, that you are not coming to the people with concepts with new taxes each year. So, for example, we have 8 successive budgets of no new taxes.
But more taxes, but remember, hold on, man.
Consumers in a better position.
Hold on, Marlon. Hold on.
No, Marlon. You don't put them in a better position because although you don't name a new taxes, you collect more taxes from them. Like, for example,
the economy is supposed to work, right? If a person has $10
Marlon, hold on.
income,
Marlon, hold on. Go ahead, right.
Hold on, man. Very interesting point. But what I say to you, Marlon, you collect more taxes from the people and the economy now grow. That's the problem. Yeah, so the economy dropped by 3.3% in the third quarter last year.
Hold on. Marlon, please allow Ralston to speak. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Yeah, man, I'm a respectful that.
Yeah, man, we like the discussion we have, man.
Yeah, man, some brace, Marlon. Right, some yeah, man, some brace, like Raleigh. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Yeah, so I should bring down the economy to a body. So, you know, feed me, I'm not eating enough food, but you take more blood from it. So the economy shrinks and you collect more taxes. That is why we are where we are. That is why most of the firms now are reporting less profits or significant losses. Because they must say aggregate demand weak, the people have not the money for buying up because the low salaries, because of the low productivity.
You made the point about
Marlon, hold on, man. Marlon, hold on, man, because you start 2 times before me talk, you know. Me not talk yet, so make Raleigh finish. Then I have a question for you. No, but it have to be 1 at a time so the people can hear. Go finish up, Raleigh. Or if you finish, you let me know.
Yeah, so I'm going to say, Marlon, that's me. I take more from the people in terms of more taxes, not new taxes, more taxes in a shrinking economy. And that is why their spending power is contracting. And that is why firms are generating less revenues and profitability.
All right, I want to raise a reason.
No, hold on. Marlon, hold on. My time. Marlon, hold on. My time. Because I have a question for you. No, man. I have a question. Yeah, exactly. I have a question for you. In 20, hold on the OB, because OB is on the line too. In 2016, Marlon. Not going to jump nowhere. No, you call and me accommodate you. OB call me, I accommodate him too. In 2016, the minimum wage was $6,500. That could buy 43 pounds of chicken at $150 per pound.
I want the prices from the consumer.
Let me finish. But you know, can I check it? 2025 now. Minimum wage is $16,000. A pound of chicken is between $3.50 and $4.50 a pound. At $400 a pound, it can only buy 40 pounds. Explain to my listeners how that works.
Let me explain something to you, Colin, and Raleigh will appreciate this point. In 2016, March when we took office, the minimum wage was $6,200 based on the prevailing foreign exchange rate.
$6,500.
Hold on, my brother.
6,500. No, but don't mislead the people. It was $6,500.
Colin. The minimum wage at $6,200 in March 2016 when Andrew Holness became Prime Minister or took office as Prime Minister.
$6,500.
The foreign exchange rate was at the time was in the order of $50 US. So people in Jamaica, Raleigh, were earning $50 United States dollars as minimum wage for a 40-hour work week. As present, I am putting it to you, Colin, and other listeners, that the people of Jamaica, for a minimum wage, from a minimum wage standpoint, with the minimum wage being $16,000 at present for a 40-hour work week, they are now earning basically 100 United States dollars per 40-hour work week. Right. That's doubling of what Peter Phillips decided over.
But here's the problem now. So although the minimum wage has doubled in terms of what they can buy.
That will be the company next flight. So the flight here is a
no, hold on, Marlon. Calm your nerves. Hold on, Obi. You'll come in next, Obi. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Yeah, I'm going to say to Marlon, so although you raise it by 100%, The problem is that the people spending power because of the acceleration in prices.
That's
the
it.
people feel buying it.
Marlon, allow Raleigh to speak one at a time. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Yeah, man. So that is not to Marlon. So the people still can't buy what they used to buy in 2016 because of the increase in prices. So in terms of their real spending power,
I don't concur with.
Hold on.
I'm going to tighten up some numbers on the Consumer Affairs Commission.
Marlon, hold on.
At this point in a clinical way.
Hold on.
Okay.
Obi, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Obi.
Good morning to everybody. And I think foolish argument. But I want to just talk out. I just want to start with saying these two things. Greetings, Roddy. I want to start with asking two quick things, and then I take away. Is it a fact that we have two people who are offering themselves to become prime minister, and one of them is certified, filed integrity, certified, gazetted, and published? That is Mark Jefferson Golden. On the other hand, Andrew Michael Roddenberger Golden, have not certified for not 1 year, not two, but more than 4 years, and indeed is under criminal investigation for suspicion of illicit enrichment. Are those things true? Are those things true, right?
Raleigh,
are those things true?
Colin, that's me, no?
Raleigh.
Colin?
You hear Obi?
Colin?
Yeah, man.
Are those things true? Are those two things true, Colin?
Yes, as far as I know. Hold on, Obi. Hold on.
150, one more.
Hold on, Obi. Hold on. I want to know if they are hearing you. Marlon,
no, I never heard what Obi said.
Yeah.
One said.
You never hear what Obi said?
No.
All right.
No, but Colin, those questions are not so much your answer. Let me give you the question.
So you heard the question?
The matter at hand.
You heard the question?
Let me give you the matter at hand. Zane?
Go ahead.
So just yesterday, Colin and Raleigh, the Integrity Commission report, their annual report, because they don't oblige like any other.
Hold on. Marlon, one sec. Obi, what you say? Hold on. Obi, hold on. But you ask a question, you want him to answer or not?
Yeah, man. Answer, man. Yeah, man. One at a time, man.
No, but Obi, if you ask him a question, he's going to answer. You don't want him to answer?
Yes, I want him to.
So allow him to answer now. That's what we're doing. Go ahead, Marlon.
Yeah, man. So the gist of it is that based on reports in the media yesterday, there are at least 200,000 declarations that the Integrity Commission have received between 2018, when they started operations, and 2025, basically. And it is just a minuscule fraction of that they have been able to examine and certify. So just to be very clear.
Hold on, Marlon. Hold on. Hold on. No, Marlon, hold on. No, but you don't have the right to your own facts. That's not true. That's not what the Integrity Commission said. Is that me a stop your point? The Integrity Commission said that they have gone through all of them. So
the Integrity Commission has only been able to certify a minuscule number of those reports.
They said
not reports, declarations.
Marlon, don't do that. Speak the truth. What did the Integrity Commission said about all the thing that came to them?
Right.
They said that they have.
Let me go again. The sheer volume of the declarations received by the Integrity Commission, apparently their capacity or their efficiency or the lack thereof has been of such that they have only been able to certify a minuscule fraction of the declarations that have come.
That's not true. That's not true.
Everybody know. You want to Google the Gleaner report from yesterday?
That
is Gleaner online report along this line. We're talking about no.
That is not true. They said that they have gone through most of them, Marlon, not no minuscule.
Let me come to the fundamental observation.
Yeah, come to the Prime Minister. Because the Prime Minister one has been dealt with.
Colin, let me come to the fundamental point because I accept, my brother, that the point I am making, you will not concur with it. You wear an orange shirt, I wear a green shirt, so not all
and where we need to find common ground is on the truth. So the truth is where we need to find common ground.
Colin, take the gentleman off the line so we can go back to the discussion.
If I am taking him off, if me I take OB off of the line, me I take you off. If me I take off OB, me I take off you because both of you called. Ralston is my guest. Ralston is the person I call.
I'm a guest too, man. I'm a guest too.
Yeah, man, but you call, so go ahead and answer the question now.
Anyway, let me come back to the point I'm making. I accept, Colin, that Andrew Woolness is the bane of the PNP's existence politically because he has considerable favorability relative to Mark Jefferson Bowling, the man who Conrad mispronounces by calling him Marky G. Yes? Anyway, the simple point you're making is this. The Prime Minister has a matter before the court. We are a nation of laws, not of men, and it is the competent courts of Jamaica that will have the final say in this matter. And we will all see what we shall see. But until then, the Prime Minister is continuing to cut ribbons, he's continuing to reduce crime, over 40% reduction in crime, and we are bringing in school bus so that the people over there in your Portland and elsewhere across Jamaica will have a September to remember.
All right, Marlon.
Come to a fundamental
Hold
point.
on.
I just want 30 seconds for a key point here.
Go ahead with the 30 seconds. I'll give you 30 seconds.
30 seconds, Raleigh. You will appreciate, Raleigh, that for a number of years, we have had to be returning money in the national budget in terms of the capital side because we have not been able to execute as we had initially anticipated our program. So you will appreciate that to the extent that there's no more focused attention on efficiency in the country by way of speed, by way of aldermarks, and of course, the tangible action we had the other day in terms of the Procurement Act. We are now better placed to unlock some of those burdens and red tape, as it were, that have served as an albatross around the neck of expediting development.
You said 30 seconds, Marlon.
And expenditure in the public space. And that will help us rally to make headway in terms of the productivity side of the equation.
Of course. Good point. So hear my point to that now. Yeah. Why the production, the procurement process lies in the Ministry of Finance? Why the great Nigel Clark couldn't fix that problem over all these years?
You look at well, a Procurement Act 2050.
Yeah, man. So why Nigel Clark couldn't fix it over all these years?
Efforts have been made to try and reduce bureaucracy. But the truth is that, especially in the context of where we're operating as well, you have to appreciate that even the public sector workers themselves, many of them have been unduly conservative, I dare say, and people looking over their shoulders. Nobody wants to quote unquote get into trouble. So whatever could happen in 3 months ends up taking 6 months. Everybody in a very pedantic and fastidious way is dotting I's and crossing T's. And you there's that culture in the civil service in particular, where people are fearful of quote unquote getting into trouble.
Marlon. Hold on. The point I'm making, why couldn't the government, led by the great Nigel Clark, in whose ministry?
I'll respond rather by saying this. I do agree with you that it would have been better if where we are at now, what we're doing now, would have happened during the incumbency of Nigel Clark. In other words,
let me ask you a question, Marlon. No, man, hold on, man. You asked for 30 seconds and you don't stop it. Hold on. Marlon, have your government ever been able to spend the entire capital budget?
Say again, it's the government work?
Have the Andrew Woolness-led administration has ever been able to spend your capital budget? The entire capital budget.
Look at every year.
No.
I know that a number of years.
No, my answer to that is no. And as Marlon said, the procurement process, and the question is, why the greatest finance minister couldn't fix that problem because it fell under his portfolio. And the great finance minister knows that it is investment expenditure is one of the major drivers of growth. So although we knew that...
Right. Yeah. But I say this here, right? Remember now, One of the things, thankfully, Nigel was able to secure during his stint at the Wicket, in addition to a host of reforms, was the whole business of corporate governance. Because remember, I just made a point to you about how cagey public sector workers have to be. There's a culture of looking, being in trepidation, basically. So when we develop this database where we invite persons, whether they wear orange shirts or green shirts, or they wear white shirts or whatever it is, so sign up on a database, and based on their demonstrable skill sets and competencies, you're able to put them in oversight positions. Because you see what
why never go through that? No, when it comes in, what's bigger than that? Why are my son not drop that?
No, man. That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. We will all recall the Petrojam experience and the furor that arose from that. Yeah. And there was effort expended, therefore, to bring focus, attention, and action to the business of corporate governance and the management of these public bodies. Mm-hmm. All right. Because as far as I'm aware, the database is in place, So I have to check up as to whether there's this law that was to have come.
No, it never come a parliament to the law. That's the point I'm making. So although he knew that investment expenditure from the public sector side is important, every year he cut the capital budget and said, boy, at the procurement process, while the procurement process was in his office to fix.
And the procurement process, hold on a little bit, Marlon, hold on a little bit. Marlon. The procurement process remains the same every year. So if over a period of time you can't navigate it, it means that there's some incompetence on your part.
Of course.
But Colin, we are where we are now in relation to the law that has come to the Senate and the House. And the
your next Obi, coming to you.
The adjustments to the thresholds that are...
Samalan, hear my diagnosis that is that you spend too much time focusing on the debt alone without focusing on the growth initiative.
Right.
Now you realize that was a fundamental error. Right. And you're trying to correct it. Yeah. And then the people are saying,
all right, Marlon, hold on, gentlemen, hold on. Obi, go ahead.
Yeah, man. You see, we don't need the thing is basically, after 9 years of Andrew Wallace and the Jamaica Labour Party, it's a colorless failure, and the masses of the people of Jamaica are worse off now than they have been before. Of course, we all concur that the big mistake that was made is that the government was basically being one negative, meaning that they were basically concentrated just on the debt, just on the debt reduction, without looking at the growth side as Ronston said. I want to mention some basic things here. What the fact that we talk about the minimum wage is now at 16,000. That basket that the Prime Minister per law across the country when he was speaking the word for $4,000 with a chicken in there to date with a minimum wage of $16,000. The minimum wage then cannot purchase. The minimum wage cannot purchase even the chicken alone. That is a fact. I also want to put it out there. What is causing this massive layoff that we are not hearing about, that Omar Adam spoke about in my program and News Start 93 FM, where he said that the president and his family, they are living off food and they're seeing upward between 30 to 70% decline in sales. Can you speak to that from a rally and make Marlon get something to digest? That would be true to power. Round here, whether you wear orange or green shirt, you hear him say, listen, we're not going to agree because one wear green shirt and one wear orange. I don't operate that way. Your shirt could have green, come on, you talk to the truth. And that is why I consistently say Marlon Morgan is a liar. Marlon Morgan is a liar. And
all right, Obi, all right, I'll let you answer. Your rally, go ahead.
Yeah, man, I mean, I could keep the program but at a certain level.
Yes, man, please answer. Yeah, go ahead, Raleigh.
Yeah, as I said, my analysis of the mismanagement is that you spend too much time dealing with it at the expense of growth initiatives And you wait until the economy decline before you start move. So you drive your car until the car stops before you service it. Now that you have tried correct all of them things, the timing turned out in such a way that people must say, yo, our 2 elections come while I focus on them things now.
Really, I mean, it is not true, in my view, to suggest. There's a line that is creating an issue. I suspect it is the gentleman's line. You can mute that line. So,
Marlon, go ahead.
Yeah, mute that line. So, yeah, it sounds better now, gentlemen. It sounds better now. All right. So Ronnie, you hear me, gentlemen?
Go ahead, Marlon.
Yeah, go ahead, Marlon.
All right. So, what I'm saying, right? In the management of a country's affairs, hindsight is always 2020 vision. See? Now, we cannot have this discussion and suggest that we didn't have the greatest and most severe pandemic over the life of this government in terms of 2020 and for a couple of years, basically. Yes? But what I am moving away from that to say, Boston, is that Nigel Clark and Andrew Ness conceptualized this thing called the SPARK program before last year. So just to be very clear enough, a program that is brought on stream in terms of brought to a point of contract award is something that had to have been conceptualized, let us say 2022, there about 2023. I don't know specifically when, I'm just surmising, yeah? And you have to conceptualize and then do the requisite in-house work to carve out the fiscal space, because this is $45 billion that we are talking about here. So you will appreciate, Rastan, that yes, although the SPARK program, which is...
Yeah, Colin, we now hear Marlon clearly, the background just noisy, brother.
Maybe I know
somebody on the line, Colin, take the line off the line because the mature discussion, man.
Marlon, it's
Come
your...
on, Colin,
Marlon, it is your background that is noisy. Your background.
My brother, I'm here in my house, and there's no noise.
Raleigh, you're hearing him now?
Yeah, let me hear him now. Go on, Marlon.
Raleigh, the simple point I'm making is that I accept that the things that serve to improve the fortunes of the country and the people, it is always good if they could have happened sooner. So I'm not debating or arguing that point. All I'm saying is that we shouldn't have this discussion in terms of responding to the gaps and deficits in the country, being unmindful of the COVID-19 pandemic, because that is the greatest pandemic and the dislocation of our lifetime. But separate and apart from that, Raleigh, the simple point I'm making is that the SPARK program that we have now is something that would have been conceived of well before 2024. So you saw it coming on stream in 2024 in terms of award of contract and so on. But you will appreciate that the background work and the conceptualizing of it had to have been fleshed out in a period well prior to 2024.
Marlon,
so it is not a good point to say
Marlon, that excuse is hypocritical. You are the same set of people that call the PNP pipeline government. When the PNP said to you that things don't happen at the snap of a finger, you have to do procurement, you have to do planning, you have to do drawing before they come out of the pipeline. So your argument is hypocritical. Anyway, I don't need a response to that. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Colin, Marlon, what going on though, yeah?
Yeah, man.
What was that, Raleigh? What was the question?
All right, that's it. Yeah, Marlon, we talk.
Raleigh, say my
all right, take it easy, Raleigh.
Marlon, one final.
But Colin,
one final question for you, because I am going to have to go. I have a funeral. No, one question for you. Why is it that the government is offering civil servant 0% in the first year?
No, man, you can't sort of use this platform to discuss anything related to the parties are at the table, Colin. You can't use this platform to ask for that, man. I'm responsible, man.
All right, Marlon. All right, little more. We talk again later. Obi, good morning.
Yeah, man. You know, Colin, I know that I'm not strong in people's flesh like Marlon, right? But one of the things I will not relent. I speak truth to power. The fact of the matter is that the masses of the Jamaican people are worse off now than they were in 2016. The
big time.
That Colin basically said would cost 4.5 $4,000 in 2016. $4,000 cannot buy that even chicken that was in that basket. Now that is what the Jamaican people are contending with, and that is what is going into the next election. The other thing that they can't hear when I say it is that Marky G, and what I want to say Mookie G or Marky G, it's neither here or there to me. All right? Marky G, Mark Jefferson Warden, filing has been certified, gazetted, and published. On the other hand, Andrew Michael Radham Grover Warden has not been able to be certified for not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, but going 4 years. And he's indeed under criminal investigation because during the deliberation, the judge's rule was read out to us.
Hold on, Colin.
And as a result of that, he is on the criminal investigation. So integrity is on the ballot. And whether Marlon likes it, yes or no, he needs to hold that one up because that is it. And we must continue to make the point, Colin, that integrity matters. Ralston Hyman, early in the piece, mentioned to you, and you use the word, and Alcatraz alone Jamaica neck. That is what Andrew was put on with represent right now by virtue of him not having styling certified. The international community are looking at these things and we can dice it and fight it however we want to say it. It is not Colin O'Brien who is responsible for that. I am merely reporting the facts as they are.
Hold on, Conrad. Hold on. Go ahead, Carla. 804. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Boy, the Keanu. No, man,
I'm Marlon running. Hello, good evening. Go ahead, Carla.
Colin.
Answer him, Obi.
Colin.
I'll have to call him back here. Talk no, so man. We have to talk, man. No, nobody no young Marlon. I'm Marlon running.
But what I know, you are Marlon running.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
And you just bring all these numbers make one bag of night.
No, hold on. Sure, man. Marlon Morgan watched the program and called him, and I allowed him to speak. Obi watched the program and called him. Me know if you allow him to speak?
But that's not because we are coming to the program mode. We never talk about stuff during the generation. We're all being covered going on.
Show man. Show man.
That is the problem.
Show man.
Hold
on, Obi. Show man.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister's statutory filing needs to be sorted out. And unless that is sorted out, there's a problem that Jamaica is having on the international stage. People don't have no confidence. Mark Bolin have nothing to sort out, brother. Like Matthew Samuda, and they are totally legal in the parliament. Both Samuda born in England, brother. Mark Bolin born. Little more. All right, Shawman, later.
Colin,
yes, sir.
Just for the record, the lies that they're telling, Mark Bolin, even though he was under no obligation to do, he even now is British citizenship that he attained by virtue of his father being a British citizenship. And he actually showed the renunciation certificate. So all these little nonsense that people like half-wit like sour man.
No man, Obi, do not call the call. No, do that. No call him no names. No, but we are professionals, Obi. You are a broadcaster. Make we keep it on the level. We now go down to the vlogging or blogging level. Right?
All right. So basically, you know, the kind of nonsense that they come with. A gentleman who said he's a teacher called me during the week. And you know the only point that he could make on it, which both of them tell lies. And Mark Gordon said he's the only person who can free black people. And that Mark Gordon never born in Jamaica. Now when you descend to that level, while there are so many things that are impacting the Jamaican people. Just yesterday, we saw on the report yesterday, another scandal emerged with 24 babies killed, died in 24 days. And from all accounts of the doctors and some information that we're getting from the institution, is a lack of equipment and so on that the hospital need that caused the deaths of these babies. It had nothing to do with premature Colin. Colin, you're familiar with someone who now is a father of a son who was born at 20 months or something
20
like that.
weeks. 20 weeks.
20 weeks, I'm sorry, 20 weeks. What am I saying? 20 weeks.
Yeah, man. So, one other thing I can't understand.
Are you not familiar with that person, Colin?
What? Eh?
Aren't you not very familiar with that father?
Oh, very, very familiar, my brother. Very, very familiar. But what I think I can't understand is how Andrew never hear these babies crying. Hold on.
Hear about your heaven. I hear the spirit of a little baby crying, saying, why did the people keep the Labour Party government in this government?
Hold on for me, caller. Hold on.
Not hear about your heaven. I hear the spirit of a little baby crying.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, man, John was there, man. Tell you, say. And the same thing me ring your phone go to and then baby there, I like your ringtone, man.
Yeah.
I really like
the man said he's crying.
You know, some of us are calling for suggest a thing my boss car. But seriously, it's a serious case, you know, and I'm not joking, you know.
Talk to me.
You see me, we see the party leader take to the street the other day. You know, that thing with them put in.
Dennis Strong.
Dennis Strong, right?
Yeah.
But this I want people now, PNP that take it to the road and take it to the streets and the same march, then a jubilee it up.
Yes.
Or show them so the people them stop that down here.
Yes.
It have a look like that. As them walk, as Labour right call it, them go and say, oh, you see it a bad mind, them bad mind. And you want this money them a worry about. Because I got a whole governance side country. Me I beg you for just shoot out that one there. They need to go out there.
They said they
need to put out money in the morning. Bright and early for them be here.
All right, my brother. Enough respect and thanks.
Yeah, no. Yeah, man.
Obi, we're going to wrap up because we have a funeral about the late Rupert Chili Miller. Yeah.
We discuss the economic aspect of Jamaica ad nauseam because we are not one-dimensional. And of course, what Robson reiterated this morning, we have been saying it week after week, day after day, that the government of Jamaica, led by Andrew Wallace and former Minister Nigel Clark, what they did was to concentrate and pay down the debt while they ignore the growth trajectory of Jamaica. And that is why we are where we are now. That is the reason that caused so many of us car front end to be damaged. That is why it caused the lack of furniture in schools. That is what caused lack absolutely no investment, no plans to grow the economy, but just to pay down the debt. And that has come to haunt us. And the government of Andrew Willis and the Labour Party get 9 years. The people are worse off now. There is something that is coming up for the election. In addition to that, I close by saying integrity must be on the ballot. The people of Jamaica, the choice is yours.
Give thanks, Obi. We'll talk later. All right, viewers and listeners, let me thank you very much for joining us this morning, this Saturday morning. And a whole heap of my listeners, them vex, because a lot of people don't want Marlon Morgan on the program. But I say to you, even though I'm a member of the PNP, this is not a PNP show, it's the people's show. It is the people's show. So if Marlon Morgan desires to call, I am going to answer him every time. I'm going to take him call. Yeah? And if there's a need be for me to invite him as a guest, I am going to invite him, because not a lot of the Labourite them speak, at least in brave. The rest of the Labourite them are run like a thief. They are a set of wimps. So I have some respect for Marlon. Yes, in come and in behaving in bully way, but I still have some respect for him. Because I don't just like to talk to the choir. I like to hear the sending voice. I like to hear what it is that they want to come with. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Junior.
Hello.
Where you there?
Let me cool down the fire a little.
Cool it down.
The requirements to become a member of parliament have honesty and integrity in it.
It should, because when you go into the house, you are now called honorable. And the fact that you are referred to as honorable, there must be honesty, integrity, transparency, and the people must be able to hold you to account. Not just who you want to hold you to account. Because Andrew only said 79% of Jamaicans must go sit on one side, and the 21% that vote for him, only them must hold him to account.
But remember, you know, if honesty and integrity, their labor rights need not apply.
Tell up! Where you say long ear picky need not apply.
Need not apply.
If honesty and integrity is involved in becoming a member of parliament, the GLP don't need to apply. I hear you, Jonah.
The other thing too, we have 200 babies that died in one hospital. And we had 18 babies that died in 2 hospitals in 3 months. And that minister had to resign. You know why this one will not resign? We won't hear anything from PSOJ, JEA, JMA, Press Association of Jamaica. Because this minister don't look like the minister who had to resign, you know.
Oh, he's not.
It's only one minister had to resign because them beads, you know. And he's the one that come from Western St. Mary, you know.
And in dark like the one that come from Eastern St. Thomas.
Thank you.
Tala.
So you realize how the Labour Party work.
Yes, Junior. Junior, I pack up though because I got Chile funeral, you know. Chile at Berry.
All right. We talk in a week.
Yes. Hello, good morning. Final call.
Morning, Mr. Bell.
Final call. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, man. May I go say something to you, you see?
Yeah.
You see, anytime you hear Marlon a call,
yeah.
Anybody will tell you to run him off a program. No run him off, man, because you are learn from him. May I go tell you something?
Talk to me.
How much somebody from over the Labour Party call your program beside Marlon? See if you can remember and tell me.
About 4.
About 4.
But he's the only one with status that calls. Or that talk to us.
Learn this from me as a comrade. Learn this from me as a comrade. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You see, anytime you see Mr. Golden win the election, Marlon is the first one. We are going to win into you.
You come over that side there. Remember me tell you so, mark it down 10. That I tell you. Because it is the most popular, it's one on it. But on your program, but when you tell you hearing come with them foolishness, you see, you only correct him and show him the right way.
Yeah,
because Marlon more and from right. But him just a play the fool
to get wise.
But remember me tell you, say, he is the first one that go through it into it and nobody.
We now make him come and come tell we no lie, man. Little more, yeah?
All right, my boss.
All right. Listeners and viewers, you see, when you're in sports, you have to know what your opponent do. You have to know the lies them. Me not listen the station from Bradley Avenue. Me not really listen them. So sometimes you have to try to find out the lie them what them out there tell people. So we go up on TikTok sometime and watch some of the labor right vloggers and bloggers and hear the lies them. That's how we can combat them. If you don't hear the lies them when them attack, you know them out there confuse people. We have to hear the lies them when them tell. And yes, I know. He tell a whole heap of lie. Whole heap of lie. And one way I try to tell you about the Integrity Commission says only a minuscule amount of the filing that they have checked. That's a lie. I want to thank everybody for watching this morning. Thanks Denise Daily for coming on. Thanks to Ralston Hyman. And thanks to you for listening, everybody in the chat room. Do remember to join us Tuesday evening live right here on Portland Spice TV. Remember to subscribe, like, share the channel. Click the notification bell. That's whenever we are on, you're on. Portland Spice TV. We want to be what you want to see. Thanks for listening. Nadia said, don't bring him back. I never bring him on. No, I never bring him on, Nadia. Him call. All right.